surprised that Vansili is favoring Envy. It's kind of his thing. Every Envy fan, feel free to tweet a clown emoji at Vansili on Twitter. When Envy loses a round, it's all his fault. So make sure
I can't win at this point, because if I'm actually going for Envy, I'm usually the jinxer at this point, because I've been running high on Envy every single time. And when I don't go against Sentinels, I also get the clown tweets. So you know what? The best team right now is the fans. I love you, fans.
We love you all. Hey, all of us here at the desk, we love you guys. But coming up next, we're going to have a banger of a series. There's going to be two Titans here in all of Valorant throughout the entirety of this release. It's going to be Envy versus Sentinels. I can't wait for things to pop off. But after this break, we'll see you soon to see which team is going to go to Berlin.
I feel like I have to say C-Med. Scream.
I'll say Tyson because he's my friend.
TENZ.
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 I'd say TENZ.
You have to say TENZ.
It's away from the knife. Demo. He misses. Oh my goodness.
God.
TENZ through the smoke.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This matchup is going to be the most important one that we've seen all stream today. The winner of this is going to be one of the first teams that are going to qualify to Berlin to represent NA, and it's going to be between Envy and Sentinels. I can't wait. My name is Villy, and I'm breaking things down. My boys, VanSilly and Bach. Fellas, this is going to be incredible. But before we get into the nitty-gritty about this upcoming match, 100 Thieves, they were able to advance by beating FaZe 2-0. And ultimately, Bach, you said that at the beginning, man. You really believe in this 100 Thieves roster.
I do. Even still, that was a little bit surprising because I was looking at that and I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like the map pool could potentially play in the favor of FaZe. That's obviously not the direction that things went, as 100 Thieves looked really, really good. Sure, you can look at the second half of that last map and be like, oh, 100 Thieves kind of tapered off a little bit. But that was still a really dominant series for 100 Thieves, and they really cemented themselves. This, though, as the game that I think a lot of us were wanting to see, even though I think good percentage of people were hoping that would be TSM for that FaZe Ignition Series rematch, but still, this is a great clash of two North American teams.
Like I said, I'm happy, man. Sentinels, Envy. This is like the team, the first team to meet up with Vision Strikers and F4Q, the two Korean teams that are going to Berlin.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have a chance to see our first North American team to make it, because the other one in the B stream is still going on in the quarterfinals. So this one is the one you want to be at.
Listen, VanSilly's bringing the hype, and I love it, baby.
Dude, I'm
now,
ready, man. I'm ready.
Bach, let's break down what's going on with Envy. Let's break down what's going on with Envy right now. Now, the thing about Envy is, this is the Envy that we grew to love throughout the entirety of just this roster, right? Mummy is gone, and they brought in two new guys, and who was this? El Diablo, Bach.
So, El Diablo would be Ye. You can see him on the end there. It looks like he just woke up. He's got that bed head, but don't let it distract you from the fact that this guy is going to come out swinging hard. You've got Crashy's Victor, Marv, who joined the team more recently for FaZe, FNS, and then Ye. But Ye is the X factor. We talked about this earlier. Before we were even on air, we were talking, what is Ye going to bring to the table for Envy? How good is he going to be? Because when you look at him, his past, when he played with Anbox, sure, he was solid, but the rest of the team was really struggling to keep up. Is he going to be as good as those numbers indicated? And I kind of think, yes.
VanSilly, do you buy the hype right now with Ye?
I definitely buy the hype, because at the same time, it's not only Ye that really brings up the hype for Envy, it's just Envy as a whole now, because now you have Marv in the roster that's also helping you out to play these clutch rounds. There was a round on Breeze. It was a 4 versus 2 versus TSM that he and FNS clutch. FNS, he's the best IGL, or one of the best IGLs in North America. You have Crashies, that's another good clutcher, or an anchor player. And now you have Victor that can mix up between a Sky playing a Sky as a duelist, or a Sky as an initiator to help. This is so complete as a roster now.
There's one thing that I found really interesting when looking at all the stats for teams coming into this event. Envy has played the fewest rounds of every single team competing. By a lot. Like, the closest team is like 300 plus, they're 222. So that indicates that they're winning games a lot easier than some of the other teams competing, and that was with the old roster. That was with Mummy. So if anything, it should theoretically get a little bit easier.
Now, things aren't going to get a little bit easier with this matchup, though, because Envy, they're not going against just, the Squiggly Wiggly squad. They're going against the one and only Sentinels and VanSilly. The Sentinels, what we saw today, do you think that they're ready for this matchup?
100%. At this point, you're still looking at the best team in North America, the king of the hill right now, the unstoppable force, but maybe stoppable at this point right now. Is the first stop sign going to be versus Envy now? But if you're looking at this roster, it's always complete. I talked about FNS being one of the best North American IGLs. Well, Shazam for me is probably going to be the best North American IGL. So this is where this is going to help Sentinels play as a unit and potentially just maintain their title at that number 1.
VanSilly, this gets me a little excited. Now that we jump into the head-for-head, right? The thing is, with the head-to-head and the player to watch, we usually talk about which players is going to dominate the lobby. Kind of like when TENZ joined Sentinels as an already established team and helped them be the best. Ye is joining Envy, an established team, helping them be the best as well. And these two, no, they're not going to carry their teams, but how big is their influence going to be in this matchup?
I mean, look, you got to realize, this is Ye, a player who's more recently slotting into a roster. Things aren't going to be as comfortable as they are going to be for TENZ. So even if they match up pound for pound on the statistics, my concern is that TENZ is going to feel way more comfortable.
Man, I don't know. you just look at the stats as well from the last matchup between TSM and Envy. What did he have? 20 bomb on the first map, 20 bomb on the second map, 20 bomb on the third map. This guy's just consistently good as a Jet, not only when he was with Envy, but with Andbox too. And this is also another thing I like, actually. When you play with Andbox, he was kind of like the second star player, really playing behind Android, giving Android the opportunity to shine. But now that he gets the limelight, he gets the spotlight, he's the one that's actually cracked out of his mind to help Envy win.
Well, with a video that is just about as hype as Vansili has been all this segment right here, we actually caught up with a few players, several players in the league, to see their thoughts when it comes to Envy. Let's check it out.
But the kill comes through. Envy will put a stamp in it. They will find their first win over Sentinels in a series, and they will be the first of 4 to qualify for Masters.
If I could define Envy in one word, it's dominance.
We kind of play a very defaulty style, so in that sense, we're very comfortable with the way we play versus everybody. But there are certain teams that have tendencies, right? And we're going to exploit that to the best of our ability.
We are going to look for Envy to grab a third round here, as patience is really all that's needed to close out this round. FNS is just going to deathmatch over here in showers.
FNS doesn't really like to call in a way where everything is just set in stone. We like to adapt our play style to the team we're playing. Like, everyone's just really motivated right now. Everyone's really excited to, like, make Berlin and even place well in it.
And he has to hit the shot. Babyface dancing around and crashes. He's gonna nail it. And there it is, Envy still in the match.
Representing Envy in Berlin would be amazing. You know, being able to qualify in general for such a big event would be amazing, because it would be a breakthrough for our team as well, because we've not been able to do it yet.
Version 1, and their first showing on stage will send home another Titan.
Now, I think this is like our third or fourth event where we've been able to qualify. It's just a matter of looking forward and kind of seeing if we can break through that barrier of getting out of third, fourth in North America.
The addition of Marvin Ye can definitely bring Envy to Berlin. Marv is an annoying omen. He knows how to place the smokes well.
He's just an incredible controller. He has a really, really easy time communicating what he's doing. As soon as he hears communication, he kind of knows instantly how to use his abilities to help us. And I think that helps us out a lot.
I would say we're pretty confident since adding Ye. He's just mechanically ahead of the vast majority of pro players in the scene. I can tell, like, when he plays, he's just so really confident in himself that he's gonna win the aim duel no matter what. That, like, instills confidence in the rest of us. Like, if he's confident, how can we not be confident? It was literally a plug and play. In any situation, if he is alive, it's winnable. If he's in a 1v4 and he has 5 HP, I go, wait, he might win this, actually.
Resurrection traded, and Andbox are not giving this one up. It looks like an ace because that's exactly what it was.
I think the game is in such a state that, you know, if you have a great day, you're going to end up winning the whole thing. And if you don't, you could end up losing in the first round.
I would say our main goal is Berlin. Anything less than that is a huge disappointment, and the whole team feels that way as well.
Hey, you guys heard it from some of the best out there, but the maps that we are going to be playing on today, Vansili, we have Icebox, Haven, and Tiebreaker if needed. It's going to be, Bind. How do you feel about that?
I'm actually excited for this one, too, to leave Icebox in the rotation right now and for Sentinels to pick this up. This is going to be a spicy way to start this series. I think this is going to go 3-map for sure.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. And it's going to be a banger. Sentinels versus Envy. And we have new casters in the booth. It's the duo. You guys know who they are. And I'm happy that I'm finally able to say this. Sully and Upmine, take it away.
Thank you so much, Billy. Oh, it is actually time. Yes, it is true. We do have a green screen behind us, and yes, we're on a couch cast, but this is our first time casting together. And folks, we're so glad that you guys have stuck around to what is one of the most important games of NA Valorant, period. Thus far, it is Envy versus Sentinels for a position to represent our region in Berlin. Sully, what a moment.
Dude, this is absolutely insane to think about, all right? Sentinels and Envy, these are two teams that I feel have always been touted to be always in the top 3 of North America, and they are now battling for the first qualification spot in Berlin. It's just crazy to think about, because this game, at least for Envy, means a whole lot. To have that contention, to make it to top 2 against the likes of V1 and have that second qualification spot, it's an important game for Envy nonetheless.
It absolutely is. Again, they still have that cushion of the losers bracket, but that's actually an additional best of 3 that they would have to get over in comparison to Sentinels, or in comparison to who wins, period. Agent Select already up on the board. Sully, what are we looking at here for Icebox? Because this is a rarer map already for Envy.
Yeah, at least for both of these sides, I don't think the comps were expected to change that much. Now, on the side of Sentinels, it appears that maybe TENZ is going to go from the Raze back to the Reyna. Now, for Envy, this is a composition that lacks the Sage. And I know a lot of people have always had that concern. It's like, okay, no Sage on Icebox. It feels like it's not the best way to do it, but 100 Thieves have showed us that it can be done. Envy recently have showed us that it can be done. Sentinels, on the other hand, no comp changes. Again, I think TENZ is probably the only up in the air at the moment with Raze or Reyna. Both the agents are very viable in his hands, so if Sentinels were to switch between the two, I don't think it would make that big of a difference.
Yeah, I think it's mainly Envy actually being a little bit more brave in a sense, and not actually utilizing a Sage pick as only 90% of tier 1 teams have done so. Right. So still sticking around with the KJ. It is amazing counterplay considering the fact that they have already started off on the defensive side, and I feel as if that would be a better quote-unquote defensive comp. But even then, the comparisons, they are drawn very thin between these two teams. So it's all going to have to come down to that action in the server. It's a full best of 3. And out of the map pool that we ended up getting, I think this is probably our best case scenario.
Yeah, exactly as Van said. He's like, if this were to be a 3-mapper, it would have to be this best of 3 with these 3 maps. We already get rid of probably the 2 weaker maps for both these sides. Right, Envy up against TSM on Breeze. That was their ban. Sentinels, we know, always to ban Split. Well, that was Envy's perma-ban. So they instead remove their weaker map, that being Ascent. So we come down to these 3 maps where it feels like both of these teams are so evenly matched. It's so difficult to differentiate them. In the past, Envy have been a little bit weaker on Icebox, but still, Envy and Sentinels, it's the clash of 2 titans.
The Clash of the Titans, it is a path to Germany. Sentinels versus Envy to kick off our winter semis. And we're already having ourselves, at least Sentinels, trying to decipher where they even want to go early on. It's more of a default.
Yeah, at least for the time being, Sentinels they're not a team that's instantly going to rush into a site. They're just going to fill out the map and early recon. Both Marved be forced a little bit out of position. In the meantime, we see a little bit of movement from Shazam towards that A side where 2 players, both Victor and Ye, stand. Ooh. But Shazam, good to find that first right off the bat. That'll weaken that A side defense, and a lot more pressure applied on Marv here as he realizes he's got to back away.
And really, it's the rest of Envy still trying to decipher where they even want to play up for the rest of this round. Sentinels not exactly making too much noise. They do put up that Viper's wall right in the middle, and finally out goes an Owl drone, trying to get a bit of information. I don't think it's going to spot anyone, but as this goes down, Sentinels, yes, they make their take. Sage wall goes down. Good counter util, though.
Yeah, a lot of util dumped here by Envy. Both the Nanostorm, Snakebite, and that Viper's Poison Orb going up to buy a little bit more time, and that allows Envy to make these rotations. 4 players here now, every single one of them, and I think Sentinels are not necessarily committed to helping at least the spike to go down. Again, it's going to be denied after 2 Nanostorms and a nade to go in as well. Envy are dumping the util. They are not getting this spike down for free.
Yeah, no, I was doubting this comp. I was doubting at least the comp of Sentinels, but there's a reason why I even favor the comp of Envy. It's because of that KJ effect through that wall. It ends up extending, and still that Viper damage still is getting up so much just off of the poison. Now in we go, still a 2-on-4. It's TENZ holding W through the wall, and he's able to get himself another one, make it a 3rd. Victor goes down in a heap. Dapper comes up from behind, and that's going to be the round done and dusted. Yes, Sentinels with relatively easy.
I wouldn't even say it's relatively easy. It's our head-to-head, right? TENZ pops off at the perfect moment to win Sentinels that round. Envy, they did everything they could, not only to delay the spike play, but to force players back and do as much chip damage. And plays like this to get aggressive, to catch someone reloading back towards defender spawn, and to find a second here to open up that site and allow your team to push through. TENZ is the playmaker. He makes a difference, and they pick up the round.
The reason why I even say that it looks easy is because really, Sentinels, they were the one biding the time. They were the one playing the tempo. Envy, they only have, only enough util, only enough poison to actually get your way through. Sentinels at this point, it's going to be really that same dialogue throughout this entire half. How is Sentinels going to be going up against that control of tempo from Envy? No, wait! How does this happen? It's a disaster! The classics stacked up over in B main. Both of them end up getting frags. Sentinels now with only 1 SMG remaining and a Guardian trying to make their way on. Out goes an early shot off that Marshall. A lot of damage done by A, but still Sentinels maintaining their 3 players alive with only 1 player in the middle of sight.
Yeah, TENZ is here all alone. Essentially, he's got to try and find an open frag, get a Devour, which he does, back to 150. Now he looks for the reposition. TENZ still in the middle of sight. There's one player towards top rafters, but that does mean his team can now make the entrance into the A-bomb site. Victor, a very nice nade. The spike gets tapped. He tosses. Again, more delay. Those are the fundamentals of this envy composition. And yeah, it's buying time. Rotations have come in. No flank present just yet. So there's one player just watching, and Shazam up close.
No
with the
way!
share can't get it done. Guns will be picked up, and Zoms is left alone.
Zoms 1v4. It's possible all 4 players without armor. Zoms realistically could catch themselves a couple of peeks here, but everyone from Envy ready to peek out at the same time. It's a synchronized W off the Thrifty round.
Yeah, it happens with those 2 classics towards B. That's the main point of the default, is that Sentinels, they get that space, they get caught lacking 100%. And with those 2 players going down, Victor here, able to take so much damage, and then Marv just in the back to finish it off. That disrupts the entirety of that Sentinels default, and it forces them in an awkward position where TENZ is all alone lurking. He's having a hard time winning his fight outs. 3 players left alive. Envy, off of a Thrifty round, are going to tie things up, and that should reset Sentinels, and yes, it does.
Yeah, yes, it does. It's going to leave them with only a couple of sheriffs. Again, their economy not exactly in a great spot. At least they were building up to be in a good spot. They were looking for a bonus coming up into that next round. So yeah, Envy, they're the ones that can chill out with an SMG singular at this point. Let's see the rest of this take, though. Sentinels, they're still playing around that mid side. They have control of Orb and potentially control of A, as there's only one person playing contact.
Here's the thing, though. It's the one with the nade, and the other would have had double shock darts, but Crashy doesn't have that in his repertoire. So Victor, he's got all the util to deny, but Shazam, he slips through just barely, and while more players are starting to aggress, Spike goes down. It's in a perfect position for Zoms to play the post lane with that Vipers, or apologies, that Snakebite. However, the lesser guns makes it difficult.
Shazam has that elevated position over towards Raptor, but as the poison runs out, he does have to back out. Not exactly a safer position to be at, but FNS, he ends up running away right as Zoms makes his way through. Zoms currently on the flank. Shazam trying to play up on that first contact. They know that they're there, but they still have to fight this. Zoms coming up from behind. It is only a classic. Oh, comes up, has to get a right click. Not gonna be able to get the kill, but still delaying a little bit of time. Crash is going for the defuse, still a 2-on-4. And yes, the rifles, they finally take advantage, as we expected from the very beginning. But Sentinels, they make it entertaining at least.
Such an anticlimactic ending. You were hoping that Zoms is good for at least one there, draw attention away, allow the rest of his team to peak with those sheriffs, but no, Zoms, I'd say it's more or less unfortunate timing on his end. So Envy, it was not the best of starts, but they do make things at least a little bit easier, losing only one player, that being Victor. So reinvestments are going to be pretty light here. On the other side, Sentinels dipping everything from their pockets into this round. Operator in hand for Shazam, the rest with the rifles. We'll see how this one pans out, as early on, poison up towards the mid side. It looks to be a more focused hit towards this B side, though. However, there is one person to contest. Again, that being Marved over towards B main with the snake bites already used.
Oh, Shazam! Tight angle in mid, but it's Ye already ready for that trade.
Sick has at least found a little bit of space. The Owl Drone forcing Marv away. Now, how does Marv play this position? Again, we see the Nanostorm popped up alongside the Poison Orb just to delay. Both have been popped now.
Oh.
I don't know if FNS is in a good position to at least try and support. He doesn't even have a second Nanostorm, so actually this becomes a lot more difficult.
It absolutely does. Essentially what they're relying on is this Poison Orb up on that front side. They have a lot more liberty to plan, and indeed they're going to take that advantage. A Snake Bite plus the Orb combo. Sick is able to escape. Ye with a spam through, but is not able to find anything. That's going to be a revive back, a heal up back for Sick. Out goes the retake in for Ye. Ye trying to find 2 over towards Yellow. There's 3 in his stream, but he's still not able to find anything. Out goes the wall. Out goes the strike from TENZ, and he's able to get 2. FNS now the last man remaining with a Guardian and a Hope. But Sentinels, they tie up the score.
Yeah, no matter what in that scenario, Zoms falls away to play with those 2 snake bites, and well, you're trying to maneuver around that wall that Sick throws up, and you're just funneling, feeding into the crosshair of TENZ. He's able to find 2 off of the spray, and Sentinels will be sure to tie things up there. Now, Envy still with a pretty confident buy. FNS, the only one that's to work with the lesser gun in this instant. He's going to opt for the Sheriff. Operator bought up for Ye, and he's one of those players that the desk was talking about. He can be so explosive, right? 20 kills against TSM on every single map. He's the standout player. You give him the Operator, and this is the clash we wanted to see. Operator v Op, Ye versus Shazam.
Where is Ye even going to play out in this round? Because we could see yet another early contact over towards A. But it's the contacts that's, well, we're seeing mainly a lack of. Sentinels still maintaining themselves relatively spread apart. Envy, I do like this take back of B main though.
They're so confident to take this control, and the two players here, because Ye is kind of just locking it down on top of screens towards that A side. 2 Storms to support there as well. The focus pivots back towards mid and B.
Yeah.
For now, Sentinels, it's nothing but quiet here as that orb will slowly start to fade. Now, Victor's positioning, he's got the elevation. It's a high-low setup here from Envy that might honestly catch Sentinels off guard, but he does at least decide to reposition. Victor tossing blast backs. Not looking to get punished just yet as he's taking fights alongside Marv. Trades go back and forth.
Victor!
He's out of bullets, but here comes the cavalry. 2 more players to his rescue, and a 2 versus 2 as a revive comes into play. It's FNS alone with the Sheriff.
It's Chaos FNS. He has the angle, but he's not able to get the shot. Ye's a little bit far away, but he just has to line up. Oh, he has to line up with Radiant triple, but it's not going to happen. Wall goes up. Dapper walks through. Easy kill for Ye. Ye now in a 1v2. Doesn't have knives. Zom still has double snake bite, so time is going to be played heavily by Sentinels going forward. Ye, he has to contemplate picking up a rifle, and absolutely he will. He has no clue who these last 2 players are. It's over towards yellow where they're cross-firing. Early slow orb. Very well timed at that. Ye still trying to look around for a B main contact. Finally moving on to yellow, but Sick just has the better crosshair placement and the better angle. It's going to be a 3-2.
Sentinels do a really good job of just retaking that B main control. Understanding that the stack was there, they're able to funnel out Marv, play the trade game, play the double swing, and well, all this chaos erupting in towards B main, and Victor unfortunately running out of bullets and then getting late swung on by Zom. So difficult round for Envy as it felt like they had full control with Ye on the opposite side. 4 players very close in rotation to that B bomb site, but a little bit of an overstep, and Sentinels are able to overpower them. So reset here on the Envy side. They're going to be working with only the single Phantom from Marv, but 3 ultimates. So despite having the lesser guns, they still have a pretty good chance.
Oh, Shazam! Oh. Incredibly early peek. And that bullet looking like a magnet. Shazam, it's the first bullet that comes out mid-jump, and he's able to get the kill. There, you do have a trade back from Marv, though. The hero rifle's still in his hands, and Envy still holding out a 3-man stack on A.
Yeah, you gotta love that from Sentinel. Shazam making that call to try and deny the Blade Storm from Ye, and they do exactly that. Instantly updrafts up, takes that fight, and well, they do go 1 for 1. Still, I'd say the advantage heavily lies with Sentinels, but again, these ultimates can be the game changer. Crash is able to find one on the bottom towards Sick, and now suddenly, Envy have the man advantage, and things are looking dicey here.
I'm legit just pissed for Shazam. He had the timing. He looks away for literally 1 second, and there goes the peek back. But in goes yet another chance for Sentinels to take back a couple of bodies. It is Shazam taking up a kill onto Crash as he's got a little bit antsy. The lockdown, though, with just about 45 seconds left, and there wasn't really any credible threat for this lockdown to even go down. Sentinels, yes, they are surrounding the A site, but Spike hasn't even made its way throughout sight, and now we're seeing Sentinels go back.
Yeah, with this lockdown faded, Wall goes up to the B site to try and sell the fake, but Victor has not bit. He's only on 20 HP, but we know how good this man can be. There's a reason why they called him food. You gotta try and feed him here, but unfortunately he's not gonna get much. Dapper on 12 HP. Marv too far off, however, if he's able to find a pick here, he evens things up to a 2v2.
It's the mileage. Marv has already gotten 2 off this hero rifle. How many more can he get? FNS still trying to come up over towards mid. FNS missing out on the shot. Out goes the domain expansion in the mid side as the site's a little bit bigger. Marv has more space to stretch out in and potentially some more cheese. Out goes the rifle. Sees the barrel. Zoms is going to go down. Dapper now in a 1v1. Only 1 HP left. Oh, from up top.
He can't see.
No, he can't see. Marv, no, he's still going. 2 missed right clicks from Dapper, and it's still a W from Envy. It is shambles. It's disastrous, but it's a tie scoreline at 3-3. What just happened?
Dude, Dapper thought he had the height advantage. The Viper's Pit blocks his line of sight. That is absolute trash. Look, his head. It's just above it. It's just above it. I don't believe it, Dapper.
No, the second right click, even just a left click would have done it to the back. Well, I guess this is quite the way to keep this game still tied up, to keep this game even. We continue now, Sully, with the play up towards mid, and it's very organized. Sentinels trying to make their way up. It's 3 players up, and it's 3 players down. Make it 4. Shazam to the last round remaining in a 1v5. He has 30 HP and knives. What a round already from Envy as they stack everything over towards mid.
An absolute slaughter. Everyone pivots back. Marv is ready to focus towards the under 2 position as Ye has gotten aggressive in the B main. He's just hopping around. He doesn't miss those right clicks. Maybe Dapper does, but he certainly doesn't. 4-3 for Envy. And Sentinels, they put everything into that round. So here's their reset. Here's where they need to go on an economic reset and try and at least figure out what they want to do. We're 7 rounds into this game, now moving into the 8th, and it hasn't been bad for either of these teams. It is as close as it can get. Sentinels will just have Sheriffs to work with. Zom's the only one going with an upgraded rifle, but Envy, plenty of credits built up, and again, 2 major ultimates, that being the Showstopper and Ye's Bladestorm if they need to pull on that.
Zom's actually upgrading to Guardian, which isn't exactly going to heavily affect their take. Early on, Envy, they're only playing up 2 players with an early choke point. It's 2 players over towards B main with a KJ this time playing up.
Ye again has gone aggressive, giving confidence to Envy that this should be a B. Hey, one person, I think Crashy's going to Aljourn or at least spot mid as the rest of the focus again pivots back. Victor again with his Showstopper. He's got an elevated position.
No way!
Light gap in that wall, and they've denied not only the Viper's pit, but they've denied the chance of a spike plant.
Well, Marv was looking for a gap. Wasn't able to find anything. Still, the spike isn't anywhere near from going down. TENZ up close and personal, ends up getting the kill onto Marv. And Sentinels, they have a lot of leg room here on the A site, but they are getting pinched. Out goes at least that rotation. Back from Ye over towards that back line. He's got the knives. The plant still hasn't gone down yet. The Showstopper is ready. Ye is finally here. There goes one. One more in the back with the spike. Ye backs on out. He still has the off. He's going to be able to get a second. It's a firing rate for Ye. It's free as Ye is able to get 3, and now TENZ in a 1v3. He's done and dusted. Envy with yet another flank, get it done.
Yeah, you wanted the new guy to pop off. Well, he did it against TSM, and he does it here against Sentinels. A 5th round and a huge flank coming out for him. Not entirely won by him, as it felt like the site was inherently on lockdown. But hey, Ye comes up huge with this 3-piece just to close out the round against the Eco here of Sentinels. Nonetheless, that being there, Eco, here comes the full buy back. Shazam's picked back up the operator. Ultimates are certainly lacking, mainly because Zoms, he got denied to use that Viper spin that last round, so there goes an ulti to waste.
So some very valuable ultis period for Sentinels laying around. For Envy, they have absolutely nothing. Sentinels, at least they have that pro going for them, but still that disadvantage. Yay, what? Oh, what a different position this is! He still gets pinged! Oh, yay! It's the cheese that he would have liked a little bit earlier on. That eye getting right in the middle of his screen. Ye fully flashed. He had yet another pretty good first contact position, potentially to trade back. It's not going to happen. He goes back to site, though, and he does take down TENZ. It's quite the important kill, to say the least, but it's still even strength 4v4. Victor! Look at Victor in mid! Still waiting up for the cross.
He's waiting, he's watching, he hears the footsteps, and he's been denied by Sick. They can make this rotation back. Shazam has just been sitting, waiting, and listening for these A-site rotations. Now he's made the call. Shazam up front with this operator. He sees one in Raptors, and he's gonna nail the shot. 4 versus 2 with players. They are in rotation, but they're being denied. Zoms to bring us just to 1, and while Ye, he's been lights out so far, it's a little bit out of his pay grade to win this one. A 4 versus 1 in Sentinels to bring things to 4.
Oh man, a first round in a good while without post-plant shenanigans, without any sort of drama whatsoever. An opportunity to breathe, as, again, Envy, they keep trying different things. I can appreciate that, but potentially it could be a hint of over-aggression. Ye, you can feel him, at least over towards B main. He's in a pretty good position to get a first contact. But that push up in mid that has already happened twice now, 3 times now in this half alone. I feel as if Envy, they may be getting a little bit too overconfident. Maybe stunt that mentality a little bit.
Yeah. Especially Victor in a position where it's so hard to get out. Even if he's able to get a kill, he's very easily tradable. Yes, he's got the blast backs to get out, but even then, it's so simple to chase down a Raze trying to get away, and will Envy. Victor gets punished. The A site was completely open, and a shot from Shazam here, but overall, Sentinels to punish Envy and make rounds. Again, none of these rounds have been free for either of these teams, so you see kind of the economic impact that it's had on Envy. A couple of players here or there not doing so good for credits, as FNS on 500, Marv chilling at 0, unfortunately. So economically, Envy haven't been perfect. So Sentinels, a big round and a big opportunity, not necessarily to reset them, to at least put a huge dent in that economic situation.
Yeah, Sentinels, they still have 2 rounds in terms of flexibility with their economy. So absolutely, it's actually Envy's time to at least go through the ringer. And in terms of changes, I'm actually very happy to report that we are seeing most of their players really backing out. Ye has a very good angle, though, on top of Yellow. It is very big contact, but Sentinels, they are thinking about this B area. Out goes an Aldrone that could be able to catch Ye's cheek position, but it's not going to catch anything. Everyone else from Sentinels heading towards B.
Yeah, late Aldrone goes down towards mid as well from Crashy, so he's kind of concerned that the full focus comes from B main, and Yay, first frag is going to be his, and there's another from FNS, pulling the attention away. Where's the trade frag? There's nothing just yet. As FNS gets that kill, Lockdown gets charged up, and they can push everyone out of the site with 45 seconds left. I mean, Envy are anticipating this rotation. 2 players still ready for A, but even then, one's going to be locked down, and there's nothing you can really do. Dapper, detained. The rest of his team kind of just sitting in B main. It's a waiting game at this point in time.
Especially for Ye. He can just maintain this cross, and indeed, he's going to keep it. He's going to be able to get one big one, and they didn't anticipate Dapper there at all. That is just long-term storytelling at this point. He was there at Yellow. He was detained for a while. There was a reason why, because they had the angle on cross. Not a bad idea entirely, but just about 10 seconds left. They're desperate to put down this fight. FNS around the corner! What a reaction back! And Victor still able to get another one. Envy, yes, they hold down the site, but Sentinels, they at least had the right idea.
It's such a threatening presence when you have an operator on the map and it's in the hands of Ye, right? He could be anywhere. On A, on B, he finds the same impact, and there on B, you don't clear with an Aldrone, you do clear with an Aldrone, and then he takes that repeat. He's willing to take that fight on top of Yellow, find that first pick as he drops down, and well, Envy finding 6-4, they're going to reposition the operator once more, and Sentinel, I think it's a clear idea to try and avoid that kind of play. However, the reposition that Ye's got, he could be anywhere. Sentinels with a default early on. Snakebite investing from Marv towards B main to get that control at the same time. Victor and Ye will work towards the A side.
That's just how Jet Ops works, Ellie, especially the most proficient in the industry. Very flexible, flying all over the map. And when I mean flying, I mean legitimately flying. Ye going in, soaring through the A site. He's not able to get anything, though. Has to still watch out those back lines with the operator. 4 players still around for Sentinels, and well, you could say decent attempt for Ye, but for now they're not able to get any picks.
Forcing them back away, at least reposition back towards the mid side. Crashies has made that call. Wall has gone up. The B split is here, and FNS is that first contact. Actually, 2 plays into the kitchen side. TENZ has got a huge play, but he's been denied again. Crashies is going to shut him down, and Ye knows. They all know. Here comes the hit, and here comes the util. Again, we see Envy dumping, and buying all of this time. How do they try and stave this off? Sentinel, the Nanostorms pop. Snake bites go down, and while they're fighting back.
Not only the util, but they're also spamming through. Sick able to get a big one right through. Still another player taking a little bit of damage through the box. Ye on the flank. They have no ideas in this corner, but finally they peek him out. Ye looking out for the... for the dash! Shazam, how are you still alive? Escaping with only 8 HP off the right click. Now he gets revived up. Dapper getting that first pick. Crash, he's looking out for the players in B main. And Sentinels potentially thinking they're lucky stars that flanked him.
Wow, yeah, he gets spotted at the very last second from Sick. And wow, I don't know how in the world Shazam is alive in that situation, taking a full right click to the body. I think only 2 knives landed for that 100 HP. So Envy, last round of this half, it's not the best of buys to end on either. Sentinels, there was that economic drought that they were hoping they could capitalize on from the Envy side, and they do exactly that. Sheriff present for Victor. The rest of Sentinels, they've got their full buy. So shaky from Envy to close it out. But Sentinels, they're going to take things slow towards the A side. 4 players immediately pushing up. Never mind. They're taking it quick. They're taking it fast. It's Victor alone. Only a Sheriff in hand. And the only quick rotation is Crash Cheese. Looking to punish, but the shot doesn't connect. And rotations are being pushed through B main from the Envy side.
Yeah, Victor dangerously low on HP and is still sticking around the back of sight. Shazam, actually, another cheeky angle, and he's able to get another kill. And Envy, they're already broken down to 3 players off this very last round, and it's 2 people being spotted out at the same exact time. Shazam with a double contact. Dapper there to potentially get the second opportunity at a kill. But in fact, it's Ye with a real wide swing. Still the bulldog in his hands. TENZ
One
is below.
enemy remaining.
Has all the information that he could possibly want. Person's right above him, making a whole lot of noise. Ye is still able to get another kill. He's down to 17 HP. And finally, TENZ gets the kill. And we do end the half with a tie score line. It's the pace that we were going at earlier, but it's at least Sentinels keeping up with the pace.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what we expected from both of these sides. We said if it were to be a 3-map series, it would be with these 3 maps. And Icebox, I think, proves exactly why. Back and forth, both of these teams are battling, and well, neither team necessarily having the huge advantage as we go 6-6, but both teams are looking phenomenal, specifically Ye on the Envy side.
It's only map number 1, and we're already tight. It's a 6-6 scoreline going into that second half. Folks, we'll be right back with that second half. Yeah, we do. Close game. Close map. Yes. Every map. And welcome on back. It is the second half between Sentinels and Envy here on map number 1. And Icebox seem to be trending in the direction of Envy for a good bit. But Sentinels with a decent finish to the first half. And they end up with this tie score line, scrapping it through. Sully, we're already seeing early on Envy aiming a little bit more over towards that mid side to start things out.
Yeah, 3 players at least posted up. An early Boomba already presented here by Victor. Turret to go as well, but I think it's all a ruse as Smoke pops there as well from Zoms' Poison Orb, but it's all a fake. They make all that contact, and at the very end, they split back into the A side. I don't know if this is going to work in their favor because it's the two scariest players on the server right now. TENZ and Shazam both locking it down here on A. Slow things down, Envy. That they have. Shazam sitting with the Sheriff is good to find the first like he did in the first half.
There's still going to be 2 more bodies for him to aim at. They're spinning right into the middle of sight.
There's that combo.
And TENZ and Shazam combined for 2. Crashy's trying to run for the hills. And in comes from behind Dapper this time trying to help out. It's the whole gang for Sentinels grouping up on the A site. It's a flawless start.
Right, that was the concern. It's like, well, the fake didn't really work out, and still TENZ and Shazam both sitting up on the A bomb site, and well, that Sheriff rings out. Shazam takes the heat for TENZ. He was able to swing off of that Ghost, and well, rotations are so quick with Dapper towards that mid side. 7-6 Sentinels opening things up nicely now. The rest of the team, what's the buy looking like? Sick is going to stick to the Ghost. 2 Spectres bought up. Phantom for Dapper, and Shazam is going to hold on to that Sheriff. Why? Because he's looking to get that Operator ASAP. Never mind, he's going to go for the Spectre.
He is going to go for the Spectre. He's going to maintain things a little bit safer for this round because, I mean, it kind of makes sense. He's playing front line. He's playing front post. So if anything, having a Spectre rather than pistol would work, so they don't get ecoed. Didn't exactly expect the classic went up against a Phantom over in mid, though. That is going to be a W, at least for Envy for the time being. Phantom is still in the control of Sentinels.
Now look at Crashy's positioning, though. He's pushed up so far into B main, and he's looking to try and cause a ruse, right? That wall goes up to the TENZ is the only one here. Now we know how good this man can be as he makes that first contact, and I don't know with that contact if the rest of Sentinels are taking that full bite. TENZ is just going to back out. I think this is a smart call. Never mind, just taking a reposition to take these fights. And yes, that he does as he dodges the Boomba as well. No! And Marth was never prepared for that play as he dances around with the dismisses.
TENZ, he dismisses right into the middle of a nanoswarm, goes down to 2 HP, and he runs in like a madman to re-aggress. A true hero as the rest of Sentinels, yes, they end up getting the frags that they need, finish up the round, save up the SMGs and the Phantom, more importantly.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We got to move on to an actual buy round from Envy, though, because, again, we're not seeing anything too crazy from Sentinels.
You gotta love that. TENZ instant dismisses as the Boomba is right in his face, and Marv is like, I don't know where he went. He could be anywhere. TENZ,
I don't know.
Great work there in the middle of the A bomb site. Like you said, we just had to wait for the real gun round, which it comes now. Full buyback for Sentinels with those 2 Spectres and that 1 Phantom being the only thing saved. Envy on the other hand, full invested, and here is a change of pace.
Ooh, there goes the orb. And out goes the Eldron at the same time. Where's the spam now? Where's the follow-up? The Eldron's not able to get any sort of ping whatsoever, but they do end up getting a contact in mid. Otherwise, the rest of Envy still sitting around B.
She's able to walk up alongside Victor, spike in his hand, but 2 players here, and well, the combo isn't there presently for the Nanostorm and Viper side of Sentinels. It is Sick who's just gonna go wide swinging on in. He finds the first pick. Crashy's revealed, and now he's looking to back away. Never mind, he just wants to take this fight. If he can get this spike down, look at the positioning of the 2 players on the mid side. They can help support from that area, but unfortunately, shock darts and a swing coming in from Zoms forces him away. Now Ye's got to be the playmaker.
Okay, this is a very, very obvious bait. They see the players going on away, but like you mentioned, Ye, he has to pull off the pick and roll. He's here to intercept the rotators if he can find anyone. Dapper, without making a single peep, he made his way back over towards spawn. Shazam to the front line! Oh, they knew. For a quick second there, they had the right idea, but still the rest of Sentinels sitting around this site, waiting for that approach. 25 seconds left. They can't abandon now. In they go. TENZ in the middle of the site. Only going to be able to get 1 and make it 1 for now. TENZ goes back to try to get a second kill from the mid side, but he was actually depending on his teammate to stay alive. Dapper goes down in the corner. He runs into the cold hands of Ye. It is an 8-7 score.
Yeah, Ye with that late lurk, causing a lot of confusion for the side of Sentinels. And well, while there were 2 players who saw the idea, at least from Dapper, to try and support his team out of the left side of Raptors, that TENZ could get away, but players coming in from all directions, it's so difficult to hold that line of sight. And well, Sentinels, it's not going to be a full bonus that they were hoping for, so now they've got to work with just Sheriffs. And well, Envy, they know they're on an eco round. They're going to full send into the B side, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, let's see it then. This is our first real rush if we do get one from Envy. All 4 players lined up, trying to barrel their way through. Speaking of barreling, it's actually barrel of Sentinels players. 4 of them still already going back. They're ready ready for this hold. Out goes Ye, gonna be able to get one, but it's a firing range for Ye once again. Is he gonna be the sole entry on this site? Ye
got another.
Farming in this map thus far, and it's another pistol round where he's able to farm up eco frags, make it an ace for Ye. An 8-8 scoreline for Envy, but it feels also sweet in the form of knives for Ye.
Yeah, that's talked about the head-to-head between Ye and TENZ. So one person is playing out of his mind. Ye is popping off here on Icebox, and he is, well, it's an ice-cold map. He is ice-cold in the veins, let me tell you that. Ye, it is just an anti-eco ace, but hey, it's a nice salt to the wounds. He gets the knives on board. It looks nice and clean and well. Sentinels, the anti-eco round is over. They'll have the guns back, so hopefully that won't happen again, especially with Shazam now picking up this operator. And it's a little bit more of a default look from Envy, except focus is definitely towards this A side.
Almost could look like a late split,
right,
but we would actually need that contact in the first place. FNS could also be watching out for a cross, because there's actually Zoms deep in B main that could make a peek very, very soon. Out goes the first peek over towards A. It's going to be an immediate wall. The right click missed out from Ye. The knives are wasted, and he goes down in a heap. Still a 4-on-4. TENZ in the middle of sight. Wall is still up. They haven't broken it down. Nobody is in short. There's still players for Envy trying to fight this out, as Shazam posted up on rafters. Goes down to FNS from below. I said that the mid lurk would come in, and indeed it's happening. FNS going over towards Heaven, but he's making a whole lot of noise. Makes it quite obvious that he's there, and Dapper finds him. TENZ has the cross in a tight angle in the back of wall, and he goes in for a wide swing, running and shooting with the Vandal, because that's just what he does. A 9-8 scoreline.
It's a head-to-head. TENZ says, what you can do, Ye, I can do better. It's not an ace, but it's a 4K and a full buy round. That's the response you were looking for. He misses completely. I mean, TENZ is shooting at a Boomba. He's not even looking at you, and he's still able to avoid it. TENZ coming up big with the 4K. Again, it's that head-to-head that Des was talking about. They're battling back and forth, and TENZ has got him this time around.
And we're going to keep saying it. It's the head-to-head, folks. 19 kills, and that 4K was purely just to push him above that. That is just petty. It is just pure pettiness from TENZ.
No.
But oh my word, Shazam, he is delivering that exact same message from his teammate. A massive shot from the middle of the air. Is now Sentinels already sitting around with a bit of an advantage, but A-side only has one contact.
Yeah, it's just TENZ here, and he's got the ability, if he gets a kill to dismiss, I mean, he can fade away pretty easily here as lockdown goes into effect. A very small corner where TENZ can stand, but no one on Envy. He's taking that peek. Nanostorm into the back corner will force not TENZ out of position. It actually lands at the top rafters, and well, top rafters, but he's underneath, and that's where he goes. 4 versus 5 as they enter the bomb site.
Sick! No, sick! He gets caught out with Dapper at the same time. He felt safe enough because Dapper was next to him to try to place down a wall to counteract that spike, but it's a disaster. It all falls apart for Sentinels, and for Envy, it's a very happy moment for them because Sentinels, first of all, on the verge of a reset. Both teams on the verge of a reset almost. Envy, more importantly, it was their first actual organized takeover towards A. It took them a few lucky picks. They're still able to make it through. That's a big, confident win for Envy.
Yeah, it feels like that with Ye being that one contact towards B main, it's like, okay, well, if Ye is there, the majority of the team should be there as well. And I think that's what Sentinels read into and put TENZ in a difficult position where he's got to hold it down. And yes, he's good, but even then, against Envy, it's difficult. Shazam, okay, a little bit of flash, a little bit of sass. Oh, no. Victor up top, no chance in that position. But 9-9, no operator save for Sentinels. And like you said earlier, they were on the verge of a reset. But I think Sentinels, with the ultimates they have specifically, that being the Bladestorm, I think they should be able to muster a decent buy against Envy here.
Yeah, could still get up a buy from Shazam. Kind of redistribute that cash, which is exactly what he's doing. At 3.9, almost 4.5K. And he's still able to spread that down. So we're still seeing the rifles back for Sentinels. Bladestorm, of course, in the hands of Shazam. Now the rest of Envy, we are still seeing in more or less a fragile economic scenario. Ye pulling out the op for the first time in this half.
Gonna take it towards B main once more. The orb goes down towards the mid side. There's definite risk that they cross over towards there as there's the swing. Ye not ready up close. The Stinger definitely is gonna best him in that situation. Marved the trade blows, but Shazam, he will find one aggressing towards that A side. So Envy, we're looking to kind of do a fake towards this B side, just default it out, feel out the pressure on the map, and well, it kind of falls flat on its face. The 4v3, Shazam still with those knives, and there's one player here that he's got a chance to win against, and Shazam doubling down on these frags, 4 versus 2, and well, they've only needed to expend just this one. These last 2 players of Crashes and Marv are sucked towards B main, and while Shazam is looking to challenge, it's a difficult runaway here for the enemy side.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, goes finally the wall for TENZ. A very quick one tap, and he's able to take it back. Same thing with Shazam over towards spawn, and yeah, no, there you go. Sentinels, not exactly too much drama, but it's really the first round that they were proactive in even trying to chase out those early frags.
Envy, the idea was, like you said, to chase out those frags from both sides. Envy get caught in that default. Sentinels working their magic as Shazam got aggressive. Early peeks towards B main. Envy, not the best of buys. I think the main salvation is that while they don't have the Bladestorm, they're going to have the Showstopper for Victor. So even though he doesn't have necessarily a rifle, he's got a rocket launcher. So it's basically, if anything, it's a little bit better. Shazam, aggressive towards the top rope, is going to find Victor, remove him from the field of play. And now things get a whole lot harder. Now you don't have that entry. Down goes your second entry, maybe a third to follow, but TENZ will finally be traded out.
The Tokyo Drifting Boom Bot and a Hunter's Fury going through is now Sentinels. They do feel a little bit of that pressure. Still find the spar, but Dapper needs to maintain the spray there. Finesse takes him down. Still 2 players up towards the back of this side. Shazam getting pressured. FNS drops on through. Could definitely get this kill onto Shazam, but because of that smoke, they just can't get a direct line of sight. Shazam still chilling at just around that 11 HP area. And so, excuse me, not 3. He's actually just fine. Still FNS. It's 10 HP for him. Right in the middle, Crashies has the edge! The spray down actually getting more damage onto Zombs at the same time too! 2v2, dangerously low HP for everyone! Revive at the same time! It is pure chaos, and he goes for the revive! Still 2-on-2. Sick! With the spray through, and he's not able to get the kill, but it's still a lot of damage. FNS still maintaining 10 HP. Shot through, but the barrel was spotted by FNS. Shazam still gets the kill. Marv did a 1v2, spraying through. Sick, he is actually off the spike, still trying to go for the Viper's Pit! Oh! The 50-50 is won by Sick, and even then it's going to be a W for Sentinels. I love that idea with the Viper's Pit, first of all, but man, Sentinel still pulls it off.
How close does it get? The Viper's Pit to congest the whole site, and when you're on low HP, that's what evens the odds out. Viper's Pit to take everyone down to your level. I mean, advantages lied with Envy, and Marv so close. 1 HP is all that Shazam had to think about that. That's an instant carve if you ask me. Sick makes that revive, and Shazam wins that clutch.
I mean, yeah. I mean, technically, that could be the feeling of instant karma in theory. Folks, at least going up into this next round, the economy was looking actually relatively decent for Envy, and it's still more question marks after the buy phase is over. They get most of their buys done by the very end of it. They're left with 2 rifles and 2 sheriffs and a marshal. It's a petri dish of buys.
Victor still has that showstopper. Probably the big concern. He's not going to land the shot, but FNS with that single, or one of the 2 rifles, going to be good to find one down towards the mid side. The push comes in again. It's TENZ alone. Sick isn't too far off, but he isn't necessarily way too close, and TENZ gets to find one. He can use the ult, but TENZ flick to the top rope, and now Sick has gone for the swing. He is what could break this deal, and FNS and Marv are good to find 2 here.
It's at the exact same time as the spike is finally trying to go through. Down goes the wall. Zombs the timing of the wall. It's almost so good, but Shazam in a 1v2 speed runs his way through it and pushes Sentinels to a 12. Wow.
Lead by example, Shazam. 2 back-to-back 1v1 clutches. This one is a 1v2, but hey, Shazam gets it done. Wow, to push Sentinels to 12 with 2 crazy flicks on a Red Bull clutch. Envy, that was their round to lose. They had the entry in the 2v2. They had a 2v1, but Shazam, he is so quick to reenact or to act upon the confusion. As soon as FNS gets that kill, he's not afraid to take this swing. And up against Marv, such an aggressive play for Shazam, but it catches everyone, the remaining 2 of FNS and Marv off guard.
And that last buy from Envy doesn't exactly leave them in a position worse for Rare. They're actually just fine. Just about 5K on most of their players moving forward. And it's a timeout, Sully. The first time in this game. And it might just be our last. Final round coming up, potentially.
You know, I don't want to say last, because look at the ults that at least the side of Envy have. It is just one, but it's a major one. FNS with that lockdown. Now, where does he want to use it? Because you have to kind of play against the counter of Zombs' Viper's Pit. And that's probably the bigger worry.
Yeah.
If you have to play with that lockdown, that Viper's Pit not necessarily nullifies it, but it could be a way to counter. But the same thing could be said with a Viper's Pit. Lockdown goes in, instantly a Viper's Pit on that side. You have time to back out and get back in as that lockdown fades. So Envy, that's the big concern. They've got credits to buy. That doesn't mean that this is a surefire round with that lockdown.
It all depends where it ends up going down. That's the Viper's Pit, at least. If we end up getting it early on over towards B main, I could definitely be seeing at least the lockdown being utilized early, or if the Viper's Pit is right in the middle of sight, a quick take could actually be worth it. But again, lots of options for both Envy and Sentinels at this point. That lockdown is just going to have to be what is going to be the climax of the round period. Sully, in we go.
It's like the lockdown is at least aiming to be used towards this A side where we see Marved solo lurking it up towards that B side because he can use that wall towards A. For now, they're going to take a slow clear, but with this slowness, Sick has presented an opportunity. Alarm bot will go off, so his position is going to be revealed, but they know now that they have that space. Sick instantly throws a wall up, but on the other side, TENZ is going to falter, and when lockdown goes into play, they've got the site for themselves.
Yeah, no, it's wall up for confidence that they can actually retake A. Potentially leave some space over towards mid, but out goes that lockdown again. It's going to allow so much time for MB to be able to plant. But Shazam with a cheeky spot over towards mid. He is able to get that frag back. It's a 4-on-4 now as Victor trying to fight up in the middle of sight. Throws out a nade over towards mid. Victor still able to get another one over towards Raptor. And more damage onto Stick through the wall. This could just be it, as now Envy have a chance in a 3v1.
Oh, it starts with a single pick from Envy onto TENZ, and it puts Sick suddenly in a 1v3, and that late lurk from Marv comes into effect to full attention, get a kill. Now this is about damage. Sick. He's pulled another life. 3 bodies have fallen. If he's good for another, this would be perfect. You know the economy of Envy is not going to be in a good spot right now, but hey, both these players not willing to lose their guns. Sentinels allowing a TENZ to slip through to the side of Envy. Again, all it starts with is that one single kill into TENZ. He falls, there's no one else on site, and the rest of Envy are good to make that space worth it.
Now moving forward, this is actually Envy's golden ticket, Sully, to make their way back into this game. It is Sentinels for the very first time in this half, essentially, with an opportunity to get resets. Well, that is if they were buying. They were very close to buying, but Sentinels is going to hold back with pistols. Shazam actually still holding on to that op from before. Zoms with the Spectre. So don't put too much weight in the round, but it's still very much important.
Yeah, and I was going to say, you look at the ultimates that they have, it's still a very winnable round despite the guns that they lack. Zoms is going to be using the Spectre. Shazam, again with that Operator, but he does have a Blade Storm. So see how this one pans out. Clogging up that B bomb site. Shazam alone, at least in these peaks, and well, he's gonna creepy. No. The line of sight doesn't favor him. Unfortunately, that Operator loss is one of the big heavy hitters, definitely with the knives, but TENZ is gonna be good on his word to find one with that Sheriff. 4 versus 4, but 1 with 6 HP.
Oh, this is a Viper wall to lead into the back of sight. This is the first time we're seeing this finally. Potentially a plant over towards the back, but they're actually planning default. This is just a lot more control, Sully.
Yeah, a lot intense. Well, he's not gonna at least maintain that control for Sentinels. He's going to try and take some more. And TENZ finds a third with the Sheriff. It's a 2 versus 3. And look at these players. He knows. TENZ just knows. 1 versus 3 now, and somehow he's the difference maker. 1 versus 1 in this situation. And Victor, he's around yellow box. He might have this ace. Yes, he does. No, Victor there to deny. He's got it all to do. Victor! With the counter back against TENZ. 11-12, and Envy stay alive in map 1.
Unbelievable! This was the TENZ show through and through, and with a Red Bull clutch, Victor brings it back down to earth. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I was so sure TENZ would have had this ace, but Victor. Oh my, I mean, we were saying that these are 2 teams, 2 titans, and they are battling. Shazam and TENZ, Sick as well, and Victor and Ye. Everyone is popping off. It's a whole show that these 2 teams are putting on.
And this is only Icebox. Dude, Envy, they haven't even played Icebox all that much. They only played like 2 maps of Icebox in the last few months. Sentinels, this is one of their best maps. If this is the type of map we're seeing out of Icebox, imagine the rest of this set. Folks, we got to continue with this game, period. There's another round here in regulation. Ye's looking to be the difference maker, already making his way up into the front lines of the B site, but he goes down in a heap.
just been holding on to this showstopper. Marv has now got the Viper's Pit charged up. They are looking to deny this round for Sentinels. They are trying to push to an overtime here in map 1, and while Shazam stands tall, TENZ has pulled out the Empress. What can he find? Can he deny? Yes, he can.
TENZ this time with a revenge onto Victor, but there's still more work to do. Just on this side alone, Marv might be lining up for that Viper's Pit, but again, it's just time, and it's just awareness, isn't it? Sick with a peek over towards mid, gets his target, and both of the last 2 kills goes down at the exact same millisecond. Dapper and TENZ close it out, and Sentinels need to sweat right off their foreheads. We survive as we go into a map number 2, all the way to the brink, 24 rounds.
It gets so close, and I mean, this game is living up to the hype. People were expecting a clash between 2 teams, and this is the one, Sentinels versus Envy. That was only map number 1. Can you even believe that?
I can't. Personally, I didn't even expect Icebox to even be anywhere near this veto.
Yeah.
Like, maybe even a map 3. I didn't expect it to be a pick. But what a gift we had in our hands, folks. We are going to throw it over to a break. After that, it's the analyst desk to run it through map number 1. We'll be right back.
It's Marshall and it's TENZ.
Born, this is where Reynas are bred. 1 forward, yep, now the duelist is starting to come through. Not quite there to help out. Now the swing starts to come through. Whippy just trying to provide some additional ankle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VCT NA Playoffs Analyst Desk. And let's be honest, it seems like Rise Nation was just a warm-up because the hottest hands in the game right now belong to the Sentinels as they run away with map number 1 on Icebox. A great game against Envy. But before we jump into all that, I want to give a big thanks to one of the nice sponsors we have for Zowie to be able to make sure all this is even capable. Now, Nursery Gamers and Zowie have partnered up to call upon all Valorant players that want to see what the pros see. With the advanced up-to-date software on the VCT's chosen monitor, the XL2546K, players now have the ability to save, download, and transfer monitor settings across the globe. That's pretty cool. Head on over to Nursery Gamer's site where you'll find the settings of the pros and the ability to directly download and try them out firsthand. So, hey, Zowie, they're giving you a chance to play like the pros. And shout out to TENZ right there, one of the MVPs that we see. But here on the desk, Bach and Vansili, fellas, I'm going to need your help when it comes to breaking down what happened on Icebox. And Vansili, was that not one of the best maps of Valorant you have ever seen in your life?
That is a great way to start things off in this series. To see who's going to be able to qualify to Berlin. I think right now it really came down to like just some 1 versus 1 that went into the favor of Sentinels to get that victory. I don't think anybody played bad here. You had this battle between like this easy mode Icebox, Viper, and Sage for Sentinels, and then we want to Envy play hard mode with no Sage and putting Victor on Raze instead. It did help out for these entries, these battles, but in the end, it's still Sentinels that's pretty strong.
Imagine how different this game could have been if Ye's right clicks actually killed people. So many times Ye was using the ult and the right click would drop it down to like 3 HP.
If Dapper's right click
That's so true. That round we just saw, he goes up on top of the box and he's literally just above. He can't see, so he jumps around the corner. And again, it was like that play on Bind earlier today. Just narrowly off the target. But it was really the battle between TENZ and Ye. And this round, this was so incredibly scary. This should have been a Sentinels round off the heavy legwork that was done by TENZ. But Vic saves the day.
Oh no, this play right here, we all jumped up, by the way, watching this backstage, ladies and gentlemen. But once again, Sentinels 13-11 here on Icebox to give Envy the map loss here, but still they have a chance to bring it back up. But let's be honest, Bach, this new look Envy that we see, I asked you guys before, are you buying the hype right now? What's your answer?
I mean, how can you not? Looking at the way they just played, how could you not? Because this is really the lower level of what we should expect from them. They've only been playing with Ye for, like, what, a few days? Realistically, this should only get better from here.
The thing is, for me, is yes, we have this head-to-head between TENZ and Ye, right? But looking at that matchup, the duels, it was 7-4 in favor of TENZ. But exactly, Shazam was another one that stepped out. How many first bloods did he have on the attacker side? On A belt into the A site. Right, just that battle in between Ye and Shazam was huge. So it shows that not only he is able to IGL, but he definitely wants to win. He definitely wants to qualify right away. And with this man steps up, it's going to be even more hard mode here for Ye. He's going to focus on 2 players right now to play against.
Now 2 players he's going to have to focus. And here for map number 2, fellas, what is there to expect in one of the hottest games we've seen so far in Valorant history? Vansili, what are the expectations right now? Do you think there's going to be a chip on the shoulder on the side of Envy to tie this thing up?
I mean, Envy, I think they chose violence when they woke up to play against TENZ and Sentinels. Because first off, you're playing Icebox against Sentinels, who are usually really good on this map. And now look at the second map. It's usually the home map of Sentinels as well, Big Haven. But yes, it did get a 13-0 versus T1. They now have Ye in the lineup instead of Mummy that's playing the op on this map as well. It could still be very close. I still have confidence right now. I'm still buying into the Envy stonks.
And not only that, Envy had confidence to pick this map against Sentinels. Like, we all know, this is Sentinels' home map, their home territory. We've talked about how we've seen some incredible series, some incredible maps played on Haven by the Sentinels roster. So the fact that Envy feels that confident to come into this map, that speaks volumes about the team.
And one more thing about this violence thing, because I play rank with Envy's coach, Mike's High Definition.
Shout out to Mike, by the way.
Mike's High Definition, I hate Icebox. So this is like a sleeper pick at the same time for them to actually be prepared or try to be prepared against Sentinels on Icebox. You know that they're putting a lot of work into this. You know they're putting a lot of homework into this. And now you know we're going to have what? Some honest Valorant.
Yes, and by the way, I love the aggression that we saw from Sentinels. I said in the back, I said when Shazam starts throwing his body up front with the op for initial engagements, like he did on ramps, this team, they're trying their heart out right now. But I didn't ask you guys before, but before we throw it back to Sully and Upmine, who's doing so well, by the way, predictions. Who do you have winning this second map?
I kind of want to lean on Envy here. I feel like, yeah, sure, we know what Sentinels is going to bring to the table. We know that Sentinels is really good historically on Haven. But after seeing that last map, 13-11, it should have gone to overtime, honestly, or even potentially in Envy's favor. I kind of want to lean on Envy. I think this is going to be going to a third map.
I want this to continue. I mean, it's the last match on the stream. It can't be done like that. We need a third map, so Envy second map.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys heard it from the analyst desk right here. Let's take it back to one of my favorite duos out there, period. Sully and Upmine, you're doing great, by the way. Take it away.
Belly, I'm flattered. Favorite duo? Favorite host? Belly, of course, not Van Silly, and of course the other bald old man next to you. Folks, yes, we're getting right into it, Puck. We love you. It is, of course, map number 3, Haven, coming up in just a little bit. And this is probably the best map that we're going to get between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any other way the desk's going to put it. We have to see a third map. If it's not going to be a third map, I'm going to be disappointed. But Sentinels, they're only 13 rounds away from qualifying to Berlin, and what a sensation that would be. Envy, though, on the other side, I think Bach put it the best way, and Vancilia as well. This is the map that we expect them to perform well. We know Sentinels can be good on Haven, but how Envy played on Icebox, it's still so up in the air for me.
Yeah, it's... At least it was already a piece of doubt that we had going forward into the whole tournament period if Icebox would even be pulled out. Envy, they already proved to us that they're making the right moves, that they even have the proactive counter picks that you would like to see against a team like Sentinels. Icebox was a great pick. Haven, even more so for Sentinels, though. They're currently 9-1. It's their very best map statistically, and it looks as if their comp not changing too much.
No, it feels like for the whole entirety of the universe's existence, Sentinels have run this exact composition.
Well,
with the only change
of
Zoms going from Astra to Owen. But now we can talk about Sentinels comp, but you know the deal. Look on the Envy side, the only major swap and what has been the big drawback, or at least the big implementation from Envy, is they incorporate Victor on that Sky. He's been always so interchangeable when it comes to playing Sky, when it comes to playing Phoenix, and now it feels like in at least this current meta, Sky is just so much more value. Marge playing that Astra, obviously the Jet free A, he played lights out. Don't get me wrong, on Icebox, it was difficult at times, but if he can clash again, this was the head-to-head that we were talking about earlier. TENZ versus Ye, Jet versus Jet, Op versus Op, who can come out on top?
Yeah, no, it's funny that we just had a Sniper's Paradise type map literally added to the game, because Icebox and Haven are just the other two maps where you're gonna see snipers start to thrive. So yes, you're absolutely right. That head-to-head is going to be explosive, but it's the match that we have been waiting for, folks. It's the Battle of the Titans, Envy versus Sentinels. It's map number 2 once again. Early default already for Envy, but Sentinels, they're playing real heavy over towards C and B.
Yeah, this is interesting, at least from the Envy side in terms of the buy they've gone for. Frenzy for Victor, Frenzy for FNS. So they've sacrificed a lot of utility, it feels like already. FNS with a quick charge up. He's looking to maybe finally kill, but it's a lot of contact. And you're right, I love it too, because Envy, they flip back to the A side.
No, and it's such a commitment to literally throw out your killjoy of all characters, of all agents, as an entry. And for the rest, it all works, because the only person playing up here on site is the Sova. A couple shock darts later, and now Shazam going over towards Heaven, trying to help out Sick. He does get a little bit of damage, and potentially a kill for himself. The 1-1 stat line for him is currently helping out his squad, but Ye still trying to frag out. Shazam with the second kill. Crash is now the last one remaining in a 1v4, and the round is pretty much done anyways. He's on the flank. Shazam not only gets 2 kills, gets an assist, and gets the defuse. That Hunter's Fury is charging up quick, and it's a round for Sentinels.
Yeah, already 4-8 for Shazam. You're 100% right. He can get that online super early, and he's presented those kills because he's very quick to make that rotation to Heaven. No smoke coming out from Envy to block his line of sight, and I mean, Shazam is presented with free kills. Sick is there as well to maybe make that contact immediately after Shazam feels like he needs to peel away. Sentinels, they got bamboozled, at least in the very start, but they were very quick to get back on their feet. Envy, with that spike plan, are feeling confident enough to go for a buy here. A Spectre, a Stinger, and even a Sheriff and a Marshal to work with. So it's a scattered buy, whereas on the side of Sentinels, a lot more confident. TENZ picking up that Judge towards the short side, and Sick looking for a long-range engagement here as he takes the flash and gets the info.
And it's all that he's going to get. No one else exactly following up over in Garage. It's just going to be that first contact peek to at least let the Cypher in the middle of sight breathe a little bit better. In answer, though, Sick has gone back over towards Garage, just trying to play perimeter. The The rest, at least in terms of this hold over towards B, they really only need one player here. Look at the amount of util.
Yeah, 2 trips and that Grauwell immediately as soon as they feel that contact. So instead, Envy have decided to work back up into garage for a C split. And well, you only need one player in B, and that's where you can spread the other 2 towards that C side. And there are 3 players here, essentially. If Zombs makes that quick rotation, contact drawn out here. Dapper ready for this early fight. He's not going to get full blinded, but he still needs to reposition as he's all alone now.
Oh no, and it's a game of cat and mouse. We're trying to circle around the site, and everyone from Envy just has the right angles. Sentinels, they try to run for the hill, but now they're just left out with a 2-man disadvantage.
TENZ coming in a little bit late with this judge here. I mean, yes, they've got lesser guns, but that doesn't mean they're out of the fight. Envy, huge end up dropping a player. TENZ up close. There's the swing. He draws attention, and now we're back to a 2-1-2. Both trying to play together. Shazam still continuing to go. It's up to Sick here, 1v2. Has to get the transfer, but he's got not enough bullets. 2-1, or apologies, 1-1, as Envy somehow win out the 4 spot.
It feels like a 2-1, but that was a 4v2.
Right.
I mean, that was everything for Envy. Sully, that round, yes, it might have been the lesser guns, but Envy had armor. Envy, at the end, they had the SMGs, and they had a 2-man advantage. If anything, that was Envy's loss through and through. Sentinels, they could have done a little bit better off that first contact, and I commend them for having a stack of util over on B, but it's a breakdown in defense that still works out for them.
Yeah, it feels like it's I mean, it's a Sentinels loss. I mean, Envy should not have let it get that close, but it doesn't matter. That's their force up. Here's their bonus. They reinvest heavily, and while up against Sentinels is just pistols, this round feels heavily in favor of Envy. A quick push towards this A side. Yes, there are 3 players, now a 4th and a 5th rotating, but with the lesser guns and the time that Envy still has, I mean, that Aldron's going to get a whole lot of information. You see the util dump. You can back out, but they don't really care. They go headfirst into the sites, and while they're there to clean it up, a flawless round with nobody taking any damage.
There you go. Not a single point of health taken away. And everyone in Sentinels going down in a heap. I mean, I would have actually called that potentially a successful setup because literally everyone was on the A site. A decent stack, decent idea. But yes, we do get to move on into the next round, hopefully with a little bit more even of a buy throughout our screen. Yes, Sentinels. They do actually pick up the early op.
Yeah. Especially on this map. I mean, you talk about it in a sniper's paradise. Well, this is it. And TENZ is going to look to challenge. We see TENZ kind of play this sole position with the assist of, at times, Sick and Shazam. But as soon as he kind of has his position unlocked, they will leave him. And so 2 players backing out of sewers. Sick with that early rotation. Now that TENZ is in prime position, but that's not a miss that you want to see him hitting. And well, he does end up bringing it back for a 1 for, at least for now, just the 1.
It is 1, but it's still contact on a 2nd. And not only that, but he's actually positioned himself a little bit better for some more information. If anything, TENZ, he's just presuming that the site could be a little bit safer. Still very much on his toes. But the rest of his opponents are all over towards that C site. It's only going to be 1 player over towards that back line. Dapper trying to hold it down with a spray down, and he's able to get a whole lot of damage. Out goes that shock dart from Shazam. That's actually a big save. One of their players was down to 11 HP. FNS still trying, though. He's down to 32, and he has to run away after he gets a cheeky frag.
Yeah, and he can get the heal back up, so he'll be at full HP. Albeit with no shield. Never mind, he's just stuck at the 85 mark. 2 versus 3. One's got an op, that being in the hands of TENZ. And I think TENZ isn't really looking to battle for this unless Shazam can get something. Never mind, he was just looking out for a lurk.
They can definitely fight for this. And they absolutely will. It's going to be a 2-man crossfire back over towards tunnels. Shazam. He's going to run right into the alarm bot, isn't he? Oh, TENZ. A 1v3 that he was almost able to pull off a little bit earlier, but it's an impossible scenario. A great setup, too. You had FNS ready for the wide swing right in the middle of sight. And just like that, it's going to be Envy with a very safe 3rd round, and Sentinels finally left down to their own devices.
Yeah, you reset Sentinels here. That huge investment in this round with that operator is definitely going to make things a lot more costly. So it's a full eco here. Coming out, I'd imagine, from the side of Sentinels, whereas Envy, 3 players alive, economy starting to build on this attacking side, and man, those sky flashes are deadly. The fact that FNS is able to make that drop and find that kill in garage and open up the entirety of the site with Dapper alone and back, huge opening from FNS. And while Sentinels, they pay the price. 5 sheriffs, yes, they do have that run it back, but I don't think this is the round they want to use.
No, don't think so. But again, if they can get a fast take over here on site, they can utilize that Hunter's Fury after and just play as much time as possible. But it needs to be a fast take because look at Sentinels. All 4 are here. The running back could go out, but no, it's not going to happen. And the Hunter's Fury isn't going out either. It's the pistols trying to hold back the site. And Envy, yes, it's clean. They don't even have to utilize that much utility. They're right into the middle of site, safe and clean. And TENZ says hello to the turret in the mid side.
Okay, TENZ, he's good for one. He's gonna get guaranteed charge of this ultimate. All right, TENZ. A little bit of flash, a little bit of pizzazz. That's all it really is. He gets the ult charge out, which is probably the biggest thing. So now Sentinels have got 3 major ults to play with. TENZ, I don't think is going to have enough for the operator, at least in this instance. So play around that Bladestorm, and imagine is what he's going to do. You have, again, that run it back, that Hunter Syria as well. Never mind.
Yeah.
He's going to sacrifice the shields instead, light shields.
Yeah, I barely thought he did because Sick earlier, he had just about 5k. He was the one that dropped 10. So in the same situation, just about 5.3k. TENZ is just going to buy up himself 0 issues. We're still looking out for the knives in the hands of TENZ too, so he still has that backup option. He has a little bit of a cushion. But as we head into the rest of this round, or really just the round period, it's NB up in middle. Look at the early pick.
Looking for a challenge to give TENZ a little bit more confidence. He had to lock down Garage because now you see the predicament TENZ is in. It's like, where does he go? Hunter's Fury to take him down. Ooh, second shot misses, and TENZ he is going to stay alive, but for how long is the real deal? That lockdown, not going to catch anybody detained. TENZ up close. Oh, he's going to get punished as soon as he takes the lead.
Cheeky idea from TENZ. Gets broken down, and now the rest of Sentinels trying to barrel their way forward. Zoms, just good eyes period, even watching over towards that mid side. And out goes Sentinels again. They've now gotten 2 kills off of this flank alone. Now this could get fun. Out goes the neural theft. They know at least the general direction of their opponents. Dapper's able to get another one, equalizing the round at a 2v2. Marv's waiting out for a second player through that Cosmic Divide. Has no clue that Zoms is there, but Zoms walks right into his crosshair. Well done by Marv. It's just good patience, period. 5-1, and Envy continues their reign of terror.
Yeah, those last 2 players are kind of just walking in blind. You're rushing through a Cosmic Divide. You have that lack of vision, and all the advantages lied there with Marv. He's able to pick those 2 up. Envy 5-1. Like you said, the dominance continues in a row, 5 rounds, and Sentinels only 1 round is coming off of that pistol. So they do serve those 3 ults. I imagine TENZ is going to be looking to use that Bladestorm, given the fact that he's gone for full shields. The buy scattered as expected from Sentinels, whereas Envy, economy starting to build. They got the operator in hand for Ye. Flash goes out. I don't think Ye saw anything because he was full blinded, but I don't think the bird got anything either really of importance.
No, it's direct contact over towards that mid side. And this is that same idea that we had very, very early on in the game. If not, it was like the first round that we saw FNS essentially on a fake over towards Garage. He's really just playing contact. He could just be there waiting up for a flank or a rotator. And indeed, that just might be the dynamic. TENZ! Oh. Oh, a hit and run and long. And he's able to back out easy. And look at Zoms. With a contact over and long. With a Marshall, he's able to get a kill. Did he make it a second? Victor over and long trying to make his way up.
And he's got stars to play with as well. He can get another tag. No! Zoms with a clean headshot. And they actually with smoke. They're going big. They've gone huge. A thrifty round coming out of Sentinels. And it starts with knives. And it ends with heads being popped with Marshals and Spectres.
And the op is saved. Rifles are over. Oh my word. This is everything Sentinels could ever ask for. Rifles galore. Nobody goes down. Most of their pistols are going to stay on. Their economy is now back, and it's desperately, it's literally the momentum that they wanted from that second round conversion. It got a little bit late. Let's see what they can do with it.
Wow, quick scope coming out from Zoms to find that kill. Locks everything down.
Crazy nowadays.
Man, Sentinels, it's the Marshall era. And while they have a second round, it's Envy that have all the advantages. Stars lined up here again. TENZ on the opposite side of the map as Dapper is going to start to make a rotation as feels as though that this is going to be at least a B or C hit, given the fact that TENZ pushed up so far. I like the info play that Sick went for. Unfortunately, he doesn't get as much as he was hoping. That turret, those bullets slowing him down, presenting itself perfectly to the player in window. So re-exec is the name of the game here for Envy towards this A side. Owl drone to go in, but a default for the mid round.
Yeah, not very valuable info whatsoever. Really just trying to go for a pick off of that run it back, but fortunate for TENZ. He had a fairly safe angle over towards long. It's just common shoulder peek anyways. Goes down to the off angle. He has 2 players in the middle of this A site potentially to try to avenge him. That recon bolt is gonna catch him off. Dapper now stuck in the back. The grab well keeping him back, but Zombs trying to help him out off the crossfire. Dapper currently full flash, trying to go for the wide swing, but it's easy now for Crashies. And yes, the Hunter's Fury is going to connect, but it simply doesn't matter.
And no way! Sig has the spike! It's a man disadvantage now for Sentinels. With just about 30 seconds left. It's a man down now for Envy, and Sig pulls it off out of nowhere. A 1v2 for Sig. He holds on to the spike. Sig may have just stolen the round from his enemies.
Underneath their noses, the Red Bull clutch in a 1 versus 4 essentially drops the spike, and I don't even know how he's able to muster this clutch off this spray. He knows where Marv is. Man, the spike going down, and I mean, with an operator up close, what do you do if you're Ye? Time is of the essence, and
He had to get there
Sentinels,
quick.
somehow, some way, Sick gets it done. I mean, Sentinels have made a video. He is so clutch, and Envy, with that play, it's going to force him down to a much weaker buy than they were anticipating. TENZ, not going to land that shot, but he's still got a chance.
It's going to be that same dynamic, though. Reset might be coming soon for Envy, and it might be a desperate scenario. Look at the amount of util down. Out goes the Nebula, out goes the Nova Pulse, but now in goes finally the take. Dynamite Light in the front line. In goes the rest of Sentinels trying to hold it back. 2 more plays remaining. It's Ye and Victor on through.
Oh,
Ye!
no! He didn't get the knife kill, but he pulls out the sidearm. It's 4. It's pure chaos. It's a 1v2 for Shazam. Shazam, he gets beat out. Shock Dart out. It's 12 HP for Victor. He can heal. It's 1 bullet to the body from Shazam that will do it. And as the dust subsides, it is Sentinels landing on their feet.
Dude, what is going on in this game? It's as chaotic as Icebox and as close as we can have it. 5-4 from a 5-1 deficit. Sentinels have found 3 rounds in a row. I can't even describe that round. All I saw was a knife being thrown and then a melee being stabbed from
a
Ye.
knife being thrown, a knife being used.
What is going on? Sentinels, they lose 4 players, and now, I mean, you compare both economies, they are in very similar stature. Sentinels could get fully reset here, whereas Envy, they have that cushion of the max loss bonus.
And in terms of the macro of the actual round, that's the first time that Envy has attempted anything like that, and Sentinels has just dissipated any chance of this ever happening ever again. In goes the hold over towards mid. Zombs is now here to try to help out. Here goes the peek from Sick. Out goes the combo from Zombs. He's only able to get that second. There's another person over in bottom mid. Victor out, and it's Shazam. 3 players from Sentinels having a war for that mid side, and Envy at that exact same time, they take advantage of an MTC.
Soba and Astra versus Soba and Astra. Marv is getting aggressive in the garage. He knows he's on low HP. He needs to find an advantage, and he might have one.
Oh, he's getting
discipline. He doesn't flick. He waits. He listens. He watches, and now
No way!
he whiffs.
No!
He whiffs the chance, and now the spike. It's not in their favor. He goes for a second, and he's gonna get denied. Spectre long range doesn't get it done, and Zombs denies the 2 of them. The play that could have won it is the one that spoils their fun. Sentinels tie things back up 5-5.
How many times are we going to see it? How many times are we going to see players with the most optimal scenario possible just not able to pull it off? I mean, just unfortunate, really. The timing not in his favor, able to follow up, and now, folks, it's a tie scoreline again. I mean, how did we even make it here again?
It was 5-1.
It was 5-1. Oh. Well, folks, we made it here. We might as well continue. Only 2 rounds remaining in this half, and the off is indeed back in the hands of TENZ. They were able to save it up all the way from the mid side. They delayed the spike for it. And Envy, not a great buy.
TENZ is going to use that op towards the C side, and Sick has got to run it back for sewers. So Cam goes in. Apologies. Pete goes in from Dapper and Sick, and he can use it to take that space, but they feel nothing. They hear nothing. Back away. The B hit is coming in here from Envy. Shock darts to try and delay. Ult's not necessarily present as FNS. He will get the spike down, and he's going to have lockdown, but it's a contention from 2 ults. Hunter's Fury and the run it back. And Sick is taking space. Force players out of position. And while he's not going to deny FNS, trades go back as Ye and Zombs both battling 1-for-1.
Oh, Ye is still alive, and Ye is still battling. Still in the back of B5, and there's nobody else here!
TENZ was actually able to get that! Quick scope on!
And there you go! TENZ continues his reign of terror, going on with a shorty, and now it's only Crashies in a 1v3. Only has a Sheriff, but look at that flick!
Okay.
Okay, Crashies, a little crazy for that one. but it's still the same result,
Last
6 to
round
5
before the
seconds.
switch.
Okay, well, things got scary when Ye was popping off in the back and he was able to find a nice, nasty quick scope from TENZ. He's able to lock down Victor out of that position. 6 to 5. How did we get here? 5 rounds in a row for both of these sides. And Sentinels with that one pistol round have themselves the advantage. 4 ults charged up for Envy, none which they got to use in the last round. Bladestorm, Lockdown, all present with the Hunter Fury and Cosmic Divide on top. Sentinels with only just the one of Dapper. It looks like Envy have got full focus towards the A side, and while there's no TENZ operator to slow them down, it's just Dapper and Shazam. A tag goes in, but no shots connect so far, and Sentinels, they can retake this site. It's Dapper still sitting and waiting. They're not convinced it's an A hit just yet, though, Gus.
No shots connecting and no shot. We're actually going to have Sentinels still holding off this front line. Look at this comp still here. And look at the amount of util that Envy can end up using. Out goes the lockdown. The TENZ still able to get a big pick. Out goes the right click. He's still trying to fight for short. Just about 4 seconds left. And he has to run away. But he has more than enough time and teammates to help. He is safe back over towards heaven. Nobody gets detained. Cosmic Divide is still up. The plan finally goes in. And TENZ! He's fully flashed! Crashes in the middle too! Oh my word! FNS still trying to make his way through. It's a 1v2 for him, but Dapper with his drop in. He ends up getting the last 2. And that is gonna finish off the half. Sentinels, they see Envy, they see them win 5 rounds in a row. Whatever you do, we can do better. 6 rounds in a row to close off the half. And my, even just that last round alone just explains everything.
Yeah.
What is going on in this game? It's a pure war.
It is absolute chaos going down between these 10 players. Shazam and TENZ both going crazy. TENZ in that last round beat a maniac jumping down from heaven. Again, if this was the series that we get 3 maps, it had to be these 3 maps. Both teams are delivering. It's not as close as we could get, but it sure as heck is close.
Oh, it is pretty much as close as we can get. Yeah. We had a 6-6. We had a 7-5. I mean, margin is just 2, folks. Yeah. You guys know numbers, and you guys know that it's going to be yet another 3.5-minute break. We will be right back with the second half between Sentinels and Envy. Welcome on back, folks. It could be our epic conclusion for what is one of these two teams' runs to Berlin. Sentinels only one half away to it, and Envy still looking to bite back from 1-0 down. It's the second half starting off here on Haven, and Sentinels, again, they were not looking that hot, but it's the same exact story as the first half in map number 1. They brought it all the way back with 6 rounds in a row to have the lead going into the second half.
Envy here on this defensive side. I mean, we were expecting fireworks on both sides, and they delivered. Now, here with Envy on the defense, it feels like they have the stronger composition with Lockdown, KJ, and that Astra util. But early on, Yay, he's going to bite the dust here on the B site. Now, speaking of KJ, the util is still there in TENZ. He's just found a way to lurk up. He's just walking. Hold shift, hold W, and you've got space.
My favorite caster, I hold shift, will be very happy about this. TENZ, hold and shift all the way up A, and that is complete control. TENZ had all the information in the world. He went deep into short. He ended up getting the audio input. Only guy sitting A. It's a free plant for him.
I hold shift, we hold shift. Everyone in Sentinels is walking their way on in. Envy. 4 players left. What do they do? Okay, first contact. Crashy's going to be forced away nonetheless. 6 still has a hot hands if he wants to heal.
Standing ahead.
Everyone on Sentinels has immediately backed away. 3 players towards long. Dapper being the only player looking for the contest over towards the sewer side. And Shazam with a recon bolt. They've already tapped the spike. They're getting it going.
Dapper, not exactly able to fight back that first contact. All 3 players over towards long. Spike not being defused. Finally it is. Out goes that other shock start. And after 5 kills go down at the exact same time, it is Astra v Astra. Zoms tapping away, but Mark gets a massive headshot. It's only 1 shot to the body that he needs. Zoms barely showing a pixel. And it is no time. Oh, barely enough time for Marv to get that defuse, but just 0.6 seconds away from getting it. But it's Sentinels with yet another pissed around win.
I mean, Zoms, he gets the job done. All he does is jiggle back and forth. He realized the spike hasn't been tapped to have, so he's willing to take that commit there. And 8-5 Sentinels, it's a big round to pick up because Envy, this is the map where if they drop it, they drop to the lower bracket. Sentinels with a huge lead. They're going to fully invest. Now, Envy, they've been good so far at counterbalancing and taking back the 4 spies. They do it here again. 2 Spectres, 1 Stinger, and 2 Marshals to work with. We'll see if they can convert as Sentinels full focus towards the window sides. Shazam's going to send 1 recon bolts, but not a major contest towards either extremities.
Okay, this is a big fight from Envy, though. Yes, they have the lesser guns, but they still have a whole lot of armor and still something to work with. Couple SMGs here and there. The Marshals down the line, too. This is quite the proficient second round conversion. And Envy could potentially get out. Watch out still. I was thinking about a crossfire for a quick second, but the person from short, Victor, has actually backed out over towards long. This has actually allowed Sentinels, 2 players, to walk up short.
Yeah, their main smoker is now gone, and well, Victor's been given that chance. Like you said, they just walk on up. Sentinels will take sewers. Well, Envy were going to take long anyway, and now they're continuing to battle. TENZ for at least 1 trade. Dapper's going to catch 1 Victor.
Crashies!
Trying to work back. Crashies, he's only got a Marshal. He has to hit his shot.
No clues here.
No scope. 1 tag, 2. He's going to find another. 3 versus 2, and Envy, it's 2 Marshals, a Stinger up against Sick and Dapper with Spectres.
Okay, Crashies has no clue where any of these last few players are, and there you go. Dapper sitting up in short. Trip still up. Say they will stage. And yay, not here at a good angle. Not a good time either. Daps with a wide swing towards sights. Takes down Yay. Now look at this post blink from Sentinels. Both of these last 2 players backing out towards what would be mid, and it's a perfect counteraction for the position of FNS. FNS thought that he was slick going up short, but Sentinels, they had the right idea. For the first time in this map, we end up seeing Sentinels with a second round.
Tricky positioning. I mean, FNS, he makes the jump over the trip, but with a Stinger from long range, it's a difficult battle to win against their Spectres. Sick on this 3rd round is already going to have his run it back charge. He doesn't really need to use it, knowing that Envy are going to definitely have the lesser guns, but that was the round that Envy, had they picked up, you reset Sentinels again, you could maybe find another streak like you did in the first half, but dropping that round, it's going to be another eco here as light investments with pistols and the single Marshal for Yay. Sentinels have themselves essentially a full bonus if they can win this round out. Sick. Again, with that run it back, he's going to be using that Phantom. It's a default from Sentinels, and FNS has already gotten aggressive towards the long cubby towards the C side, and Sentinels put their full focus towards A and contesting.
The big contestant from NV period throughout these back choke points. mostly including C-Lock. Look at this approach from FNS. He's sitting right into the middle of Cubby.
Love it, because Ye is planning on playing long with this Marshall as well, so it's a great assist.
Oh my gosh, indeed it is. I've got that first pick.
Oh.
The Frenzy has to get one, but TENZ is forced to dash his way forward. Mars able to get another one. Look at the gap on Ye. Ye gets another pick. He's still sitting up on top of logs. Out goes the cross. Victor and Ye combined for 2. Shazam and Sick, last 2 remaining. And out goes the... Oh! The wrap back from 6. Shazam saves his teammates, but it's still... the round back from Envy, so close to saving his teammate, but it's a 9-6 scoreline that Envy had to scratch and claw for.
It feels like that these rounds are just far too chaotic. Swings go in, tags with Marshalls, and somehow Sheriffs ring out true and they find Envy a 6th round here. That was where Sentinels were looking, okay, if we can win this round, we can have the full bonus, but because their second round goes down to such close margins, they don't have the credits here to go for the buyback. 4 Sheriffs to play with. Dapper can reinvest, but overall, Sentinels, they're reset, and Envy, they're still in this second map.
It's intense for Envy, but Sentinels really just trying to dissipate a lot of this pressure. Early round proceedings doesn't exactly see much for Sentinels, as they've been actually very much used to actually banging out a couple of these deep choke points. And Envy, they're still playing up that same dynamic. 2 players watching up contact early. Sentinels, they haven't made a peep yet, except for TENZ.
TENZ, I think, was trying to avoid that alarm bot, but he took a step far, a little bit too forward before the cloudburst went down, and now Sentinels... He still has Sheriffs. Sick doesn't get a little bit of space. He's going to get full blinded, but no swing goes in. They know the contact is in garage, and you can obviously see with the A peeking long. There should be no one A. The focus swings back, and there are 3 players here. It is Sentinels with Sheriffs. It's deadly. Doesn't keep the gun out long enough, and he goes down.
FNS still around the corner, could be able to get a second kill, and finally he does. He was running out of bullets, and he's still able to get a couple more in. Marv with a 3K holding back the fight. Yes, that is going to be pretty much the end of the round. Dapper looking for some economic damage. But this is all that Envy needs. This is the first round that they end up buying up the rifles. The op is finally back in their hands, and they save pretty much all of it.
Yeah, you gotta love FNS chasing him down the classic. He's like, let me get my ult, let me get my ult points, let me get my ult points.
Back!
And his teammates just, taking those kills away. But he's only 2 off of it. Victor only being 1 off the Seeker, so a lot of crucial ults ready to come online in these next coming rounds for both sides. Sentinels are nearing completion on, again, the Hunter's Fury, the Bladestorm for TENZ as well. So it's not a bad predicament that either team are in. The full buyback for both sides. Our full rifle round here in number 5. Sentinels take a liking towards this A side. 5 players, or apologies, 4 players here. Zombs on alert towards C. This is kind of the typical default that we've seen so far. Envy, the operator Faith, at least here in Ye, has got the assist of Victor, but the concern pivots back towards Sewers. As Victor gets the info, patients aren't made. They're just a little bit more concerned where the hit's coming if it's going to be A.
Yeah, it is. Seemed like we've had a plethora of contacts thus far here in the A site, but again, Sentinels so brutally slow to make their way up, and the first time that they even stepped their way forward, it is Ye with a well-timed peek, and he's going in for more. He's gonna be able to get 2, make it a third. Victor is behind him to catch it up, and Sentinels with the rifles, they're breaking down.
Oh, TENZ still able to trade one back. The operator out of their hands, but the round isn't done just yet. Envy, the deadly player they have to contest with. Dom's not too far off, as TENZ is going to be able to back away slowly but surely. 4 versus 2 still. The B site clogged up with this utility. And if they want to rework it back in the garage, it's going to be nearly impossible with it going undetected. Alarm bot there present already, and yeah, 20 seconds left. Time is not on their favor, and it looks like TENZ is going for a late re-exec into the A site off of a double Nebula fake over towards B.
Double Nebula fake. That is so much util being utilized, but for very, very good reason. Out goes the alarm bot fake. 5 seconds left. 4 seconds left. TENZ! No, it doesn't plant. It's not even going to go for it. And instead opt for the kill, and wow, I at least anticipated TENZ to try to go for that, but felt the danger and it made sense.
I think it's fair that TENZ doesn't go for it because he knows he can hold on to the rifle. He's got Bladestorm no matter what, even if he were to go for the spike plant. If he gets the kill, Bladestorm comes online.
Yeah.
If you were to die, you would still get the Bladestorm. So he takes the risk. He didn't feel like planning. He does get a kill, weaken the economy, just a tad bit of envy. The important thing is you holding the 2 rifles. You'll get the Bladestorm online here. You can drop that rifle over. So it's not the worst of buys, and TENZ does drop it over to Shazam. So Sentinels, it's a weakened buy with 2 Spectres, but essentially you've got 3 rifles.
And I mean, it was 2 people that ended up saving in the first place. I mean, Zoms, yes, he could also redistribute the cash, and it works out just fine for Sentinels. They have the rifles they need, but do they have the positions that they want? Crashies has it all over towards Long, and he's able to pretty much create all this space now for Envy, except for in the middle of sight. There's only 1 person over towards Long. TENZ essentially dashing his way through with a heat-seeking missile right onto the head of Crashies, and still the rest of Sentinels rotating, or still slowly make their way slowly onto A, having some trouble with the cabbages, but Cosmic Divide down. It's a 4-on-4.
Light tag already. TENZ going risky. He does find a kill up top in the heavens, but there's still more to come as Shazam sending shock darts the way of the connector side, and TENZ still sitting in the middle. It's instead Shazam to nick that kill, and TENZ down low. It's 1 player left as FNS is coming in for the backstab, but it's a little bit too late. All of his compadres have already gone down in FNS. It's a 1 versus 2. Both players split. We got 1v1s. We can't win the first. Sentinels. Apparently those 2 save rifles are what win them that round as TENZ comes up big with that Bladestorm saved up.
Yeah, TENZ, he ends up getting not only 1 kill in the middle, but yes, he ends up redistributing the cash. One of the players that ended up doing so from the last round stays alive for another one. That is Zoms. And I mean, I don't think that's going to be the instant karma play of this game, but I still think that that's a very good team play overall, and that is good karma at least going forward for Sentinels because they desperately needed it. They were about to get reset once again, and overall the vibes need to go up. Envy are getting dangerously close with one of their final buys.
Sam sent this Alidrome last round, and he's going to try and pocket off of something. Nice first tag. Where's the second? He's not going to be able to finish it off. In Astral form as well. Sika's going to take the space. Grab a Nova Pulse. He all avoids. Marv is good to at least knock down the run it back. That's not enough. Marv knows one is charged in. Everyone has arrived. No scope from
Here goes Ye.
Just 3, but there's a shutdown again from Shazam, and well, Crashies all alone, can't do much in this situation. 11-8 as Sentinels, 2 rounds, and they've got Berlin.
2 rounds away from the German homeland, as at least for now, Sentinels so desperately close to getting back to that Masters set that they so love to try to carry around. Envy, however, still slide in with another pick after this. But it's going to have to be this round, Sully. Look at their buy already, and it's getting a little bit desperate. But thankfully, they've actually slowed it down a little bit. They were thinking about full rifles, but they've actually gone back to a half buy. Just about 2K in the bank for most of these players. Envy only maintaining 1 player over towards that mid side, 3 over towards A. It's a heavy reliance on util between C and B.
Yeah, this is really scary for Envy. Turret's being spotted. Sick is going to break. 2 players charging up. It's both Sick and TENZ, so where's the scare? It's up towards the top. And Sick looking to punish, and they are good to get this first frag. The C site opened up. The guns are still readily available here for Envy, as well the spike should be going down momentarily. There is still a chance as Envy pull up the 4v4.
Oh, Sick. Getting not only revealed, but the Hound right on him. Out goes Zoms with the spray down. 2 players in that same angle trying to hold off Envy. And Crashies! Okay, interesting. He gets a collateral off of that 1 shot, but it's really the only action that Envy got throughout that entire round. Sentinels 4-map match in qualification points to make their way to Berlin.
1 more round is all it's going to take. 1 slip up, and Envy will be dropping to that lower bracket. They have the full buy. They have ults. They've got 2 ults. These were the saviors that they had on Icebox. They couldn't bring us to OT, but they brought us to 24 rounds. Now they've got to try and do it here again and duplicate their results. Crashies, Hunter's Fury, lockdown for FNS. Here they come, here they go. And TENZ is going to be the first blood. Victor good for at least the immediate 2 off the bat. And while Crashies is looking to try and respond, he is in the back line. 4 versus 3. And Zoms is desperately low on HP.
Crashies still have that ping over towards Long, but the shock darts aren't able to connect. Still that man disadvantage that Sentinels are now starting to lack out over towards the back site. Envy. They had the right pieces. They had the right proponents, and they continued to take advantage of it. More kills going back for Ye and Crashies. Zom's now the only one remaining in a 1v4, and all the momentum has been stopped. Yes, it is yet another round back for Envy. Sentinels, they have cash to go into the next, but Envy, luckily, with 4 players alive, most of their rifles and their utility is going to stay through.
Envy, like you said, keeping things at least intact. That's probably the biggest thing. Huge double pick coming out from Victor to at least open things up and give them that opportunity. The buy still in their favor, but same thing with Sentinels. Cash has been built up to the point where they can continue to buy. They might need one reset here or there, but is that going to be enough to phase them? Probably not, as Envy. They know what is at stake with every single round. They're setting themselves up, 2 players, a third in rotation. If you want to count Ye in towards the garage side, one solo on this A side. And Crashies has got a lot of work to do as he realizes the majority of this focus is towards A, and he's a little bit overwhelmed, so he calls for rotations. Victor comes in. Still that lockdown to play with if they want to go for a retake.
Ooh. Okay, Dapper. And revealed a little bit. They know that the Cypher is at least over towards that A area, even though the Owl drone didn't end up pinging. But once again, Sentinels maintaining a default mindset.
Yep.
And Envy, I mean, quite rarely now, and the same thing with Sentinels, neither one of these 2 teams want to interact with one another. We're not seeing anyone from Envy deep in these choke points, not even watching them at that.
No.
And Sentinels, well, they almost have to enact what is literally the name of the side. They are the attacking side. They're the ones that have to do the attacking. They're the ones that have to make their way through. Early on, it is the Seekers getting a whole lot of information over towards long.
Seekers go out. One Cabbage is having trouble finding anything as it's bouncing between sewers, but run it back activated. Sick is trying to sell a huge fake, knowing the Seekers got that contact, but nobody on Envy has taken this fight. They are completely wary to the fact that it's a full fake, and well, Sick, run it back doesn't find much. Suddenly a 5 versus 3, a Shazam down low, and Ye up top, taking him down with the knives. It's clean here from the side of Envy as they take now a 10th round to bring Sentinels at least down a peg in this second map.
That's another big one too. Envy completely flawless. It's not exactly the hope that Sentinels like to see, because I think their economy is actually starting to dwindle now too. They might start to contemplate holding back for this round and going into the very last, and indeed, they will.
Oh, man.
Okay, listen. We've had our fair share of Shikos.
Yep.
But
let's not hope it happens here.
Yeah, right. We like drama, folks. And Envy, more than likely, they have the rifles. They're trying to push this to the 24th round. But the pistols, they're all grouped out around C.
Yeah, full send here, it feels like, as TENZ has still got that updraft and dash available, so he's looking to create space. Everyone behind, 2, 3, 4 players now starting to make a rotation from Envy. It's quiet. Lights out here for Sentinels. They shut the noise, rework their way back into garage to try and reposition, and TENZ is the spearhead. You need the confusion in garage. It's Sick. He has no curveballs left, so the peak is risky, and well, our 2 players basically right there, and well, Sentinels, this is the time where they need to make a move soon.
Sick is still very much quiet, and he's the only person making any sort of headway. But this is what Envy is trying to work for. They have contact on the outside of garage. TENZ goes in for a peek. There's one person watching outside garage, like I mentioned. So Sick, even if he does go for this peek, even if he is more proactive in C, well, he's probably going to get peeked out. He's probably going to go down. Out goes at least that wide swing. Out goes the dash from TENZ. Goes down in a heap. 2 more players over towards garage. And the guiding light is going to shut down all of that pressure. It is yet another flawless round from Envy, as now they are looking cold-blooded. 1 more round separates Envy and Sentinels.
It feels like the nerves are rattled here on the Sentinel side. They know they don't want to make a mistake. This is their best chance to close out the series. And again, Envy know it as well. 1 round, 1 mess up, they slip to the lower bracket. Sentinels lie back in their favor. 1 ult, that being the Cosmic Divide. We've been sitting on FNS's lockdown. Keep in mind, he's had that since 8 to 12. And now we're looking to see if this is the round he wants to use it to bring us to an overtime. And Sentinels, it's a full send of the A site. Where is FNS? He's right here, ready. But this lockdown, it's not going to have the effect that he wants if they're just going to full rush.
There is a full rush. This Owl drone slowly but surely, slowly but surely clearing out, but there's a reason why they're backing out. Again, that lockdown still ready on FNS. Just waiting for any sort of return off that, because Shazam technically on that front line could get this plant down and could also get that ulti, but it's actually Sick going in for the plant. Interestingly enough, Shazam still going back for it. Out goes that lockdown, and the Hunter's Fury charged up for Shazam over towards Long, off the orb, and it works out to shut down the lockdown. Everyone on Sentinels still in the middle of sight. It's a 5v5. It is full even strength for these two teams to battle for this last round. In goes the take. Cosmic Defy still up in Long. Victor gonna be able to get 1. 2 kills going back. Yay with a wide swing. Man advantage now for Envy. Out goes the 2v2. Dapper holding it down. Headshot onto Marv. Marv, how much more can you survive, my friend? 64 HP back on Sick. He has the space. He has the molly in the middle of the spike. Marv goes for the fake, but it's not gonna work. Gute Reise, Sentinels. Have a good trip, because we'll see you in Berlin.
An unbelievable best of 3 series, and it ends 13-11 on map 2 and map 1. What a series between Sentinels and Envy. I mean, we expected it to be close. We were hoping for a third map, but hey, at least we get 24 rounds on both of these first 2 maps. What a start to our first team to qualify to Berlin.
Oh, see, this set was already looking close enough for map number 3, and Veli said that map number 1 was already some of the best Valorant he'd ever watched. I feel like this whole set could have been one of the best Valorant games ever, but for Sentinels, I don't think they really care. They have free play tickets back over to yet another Masters tournament. The number 1 of NA is back representing us.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Sentinels on top of the world, where they're on top of NA, still not done just yet. You still have to play tomorrow and maybe get yourself the number 1 seed and declare yourself the best in North America. But hey, we wouldn't have it any other way. Congratulations to Sentinels. Envy, they still have a chance in that lower bracket. They're not done at all.
Folks, yes, it is what is our first LAN cast, but it ends here. Sully, it has been an absolute pleasure, and we're going to send it back to some more LAN boys. It is the analyst desk all the way back in Philly. Take it away, Valley.
Big shout out to Up Monticelli for the fantastic commentary. And by the way, congrats to Sentinels for qualifying to make the Berlin to represent North America when it comes to Masters Berlin. And I can't wait. But here we're going to break things down with Bach and Vansili. And Vance, Bach, initial thoughts right now. This is crazy. We finally know who's going to represent us overseas.
I love the fact that they couldn't high-five and handshake after that long time. They're like,
I don't know how
next to each other. It's okay. But even still, I mean, it's a great series. It's disappointing. Like, selfishly, I wanted a third map. I wanted overtime in both maps. Yeah. We were talking about it. Like, I just want this to continue, and it doesn't happen. It's not even just because I'm, like, a fan of the Envy players or a fan of Sentinels. I just wanted to see the action continue because it was so exciting.
Exactly. That was the name of the game. Super exciting. I think when you look toe-to-toe for these two teams, the way that they entry, pretty even, right? And it was a lot of nonsense going left and right from time to time, with TENZ pushing over, with Ye pushing over. What they did their job. They're creating space, they're getting some entry kills, but overall, it's just a kerfuffle every time on these battles. Then you go on these trades, really even. But in the end, when it comes down to the clutches, the 1v1s, it's always Sentinels that edge it out.
One of the things that was really disappointing, and we talked about this from the first map, Ye's ult, the Blade Storm, I felt like whenever he popped it, that actually worked against the team. Yeah. It felt like it wasn't quite where it needed to be. So like his rifle work, his work with weapons, it was way better, way stronger, but for some reason, the ult was just off. Awkward.
But you know what? At the end of the day, both of these teams gave us one of the best matches that I've personally ever seen in Valorant. MVP of Envy, even though they lost, is going to be Ye, the newcomer. But also, big shout out to Sick, the Phoenix, the duelist for Sentinels. For just popping off 259 combat score, 1.8 KDA, but also 24 kills.
And when we're just saying and doing the analysis of like how Corey was playing Phoenix before on this map, it's like, oh man, it's fizzling out, but Sick definitely played that very well. And look at Ye, 23 kills, had 19 on the previous map, and 20 throughout the whole series versus TSM. So if you got to give it to somebody today overall, you have to give it to Ye, but in the end for a team that wins, again, Sentinels always edging it out. Shazam always wanting to win. And also Sentinels just saying, look, it doesn't matter how many times you're going to go against us as Sentinels, we're always going to be on top.
Definitely. Now, Bach, I have a question for you. We actually have a segment, the Aim Lab Flick of the Day. If there's any play out there that comes to mind, which one do you think it might be?
Well, I mean, come on now. When you look at that last series, we had so many incredible plays. It was actually, we kept going. I remember we were sitting over there, we're watching, and we're like, that's the flick of the day. No, wait. That's the flick of the day. We can have that. That's the flick of the day. We kept going back around. So honestly, at this point, I don't even remember because we've seen so many of these crazy plays that it was actually hard to track which play we were actively talking about because it was like every 2 rounds we would change our minds about what the flick of the day was.
It was insane. I think at this point, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be that 3K that we got there from Victor. Because we did have, TENZ that was doing so good with that Sheriff. Again, another one of those rounds where Sentinel's about to lose, and then TENZ about to put everybody in the backpack and be like, I got this, boys.
And what's crazy is you could actually have a flick of the day on both players. Because TENZ goes nuts with the Sheriff, almost makes that round possible, and then Victor's the one that actually gets the 3K to close things out.
Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look and see exactly what it was because there was banging plays all around. Shout out to AimLab and the flick of the day. Oh my God. All right. Ye is absolutely insane with this play. Able to get the Blaze-Storm kill, the op kill, and then when you thought it was all over with, nah, he's going to pull out the classic and VanSilly. If I had 1% of that skill right there, man, that'd be it.
You'd be out of silver.
He's premium silver, okay?
No, definitely, at that point, to be able to switch over to between 3 sets of weapons and still get kills, definitely, we were talking about him, right? He had a great day today.
It's funny, too, because we were saying how his ult was disappointing. Sure, he gets the first kill, and you're like, oh, he's going to pop off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's going to make me look like an ass. And then he misses the second kill. I'm like, okay, we're still good. But he hits that shot with the op, and then he just goes straight to the sidearm and just immediately, like, no hesitation.
That man was out of his mind. But you know what? We actually have a Ryzen post-game interview with the one and only, one of the best IGL in the game. Let's give him the respect he deserves. Shazam! If you hear me, let's go ahead and put him back on screen.
Maybe not.
Actually, no. We're going to wait just a little bit for that. But, fellas, all right, so now, Envy, we've seen what they're capable of, right? This is actually insane. They're going down to the losers bracket. I think that any team that faces them is going to be in big trouble, man. They're going to have a big chip on their shoulder.
Honestly, when we came into this day, right, and our question mark was, okay, Envy, can we actually buy into the stocks? Are they actually as hype as we think they could be? Can they actually beat Sentinels at this point? At least we got all of those questions answered, No, they can't beat Sentinels yet. But overall, they're still that very close number 1. I think when you looked at that gap and you're trying to figure out who's like the top team or the top teams in North America, it's like, okay, Sentinels, and then there's a small gap of like, okay, is it 100 Thieves? Is it Envy? Is it TSM at this point now? But now I see that the gap is closing in a lot more with Ye joining Envy's roster.
Now, also, VanSilly, you've been also watching the B stream as well for the other games that's been going on.
Yeah.
What's been happening? Give us an update.
I haven't been following the second map, but I do remember on the first map for XSET and 100 Thieves, it was like a 9-3 half for XSET on Haven. And somehow, the triple initiator, controller, no sentinel for 100 Thieves on the attack came back. Attack came back. I like the, somehow I just rhyme myself like, the cat came back. Anyways, came back and won 13-11, and it was like a great comeback for XSET. I just can't wait to watch the VOD. For 100 Thieves, sorry.
Bach, any last thoughts about what we've seen today, with that being the last match that we've had?
Looking at today, one of the things that we didn't touch upon, and we've talked about it at previous points throughout all of VCT, is Sik's versatility for this roster. Sik played 5 maps, and he played 5 agents. He plays Raze, KO, Sky, and then he also played Sage and Phoenix. So he played 5 agents across a variety of roles. He was a duelist. He was a sentinel. He's an initiator. That's insane. Just the fact that he has that flexibility, and not only that, is frequently right at the top with everybody else. Like, he's usually the number 2 hitter right underneath TENZ. How do you, like, really not speak enough about that player? We're constantly praising TENZ, and I know we even say this. We're like, oh, we always feel like we spend too much energy talking about TENZ. We don't talk about Sik enough. But, like, I have to keep coming back to it. The dude is just incredible. Probably the most versatile player in all of Valorant. I'll say across the globe, not necessarily just in North America.
Yeah, we definitely commended him at least when he was actually playing during First Strike at the same time. Too. It's like, oh, 5 maps now into rotation. He played a different agent on every single map, and he continues that way to really play, really being selfless. It's the same thing that we gave to Mummy, for example, or Envy. Is like, he'll play whatever he needs to play for the team to win, and it works for Sentinels.
But the difference is, Sik was always performing well. Mummy definitely got his performance impacted when he had to play Astra with an op. It didn't work. Sik never has that problem.
Doesn't need op.
There's a difference between using every agent out there being great with them. But speaking of great, we actually have that interview ready, the Verizon post-game interview. Let's go ahead and get Shazam on the screen to see what he thinks about everything that's been happening so far. Shazam, it's good to see you again. What's going on? First things first, you're going to Berlin, but before you got to that point, you guys had to face off against Envy. Was there any prep beforehand, or were you guys adapting on the fly?
Yeah, we had like a 2-hour break between our matches, and so during those 2 hours, I kind of like figured out the veto and how we wanted to play out, which went kind of how we planned. And then I just watched, I rewatched our game versus TSM, took some like quick notes, and then the other maps were kind of like up in the air. It was like a different roster before when they played the matches, so we kind of just like solidified our game plan and made sure like we got some proper food to eat. It's like it's a decent break between the match. Like your first match of the day. You have your coffee, whatever, you have your meal, and then you want to make sure that like you're not tired by the end of the day playing a second match a few hours later. So I think everyone did a good job of like making sure that everything's planned out for the day.
You guys definitely played like you were well rested and had some good food right there. Now you're going to Berlin, Germany. Have you been there before? First off.
Yeah, I've been to Berlin many times actually. For like CS boot camps and stuff. It's an awesome city. I'm really looking forward to it.
You actually have a chance. Sorry to cut you off right there. You actually have a chance to go against Vision Strikers for the first time ever. Is that something that you and the team have even spoken about? Are you really excited about that?
Yeah, I think we talked about it during Iceland, how we were kind of disappointed that they didn't make it to Iceland because they're like probably the most hyped team from the region, and we wanted to see how we like fared up against them. So definitely looking forward to it.
Now, Shazam, last question. So you guys are number one that's going to Berlin. Coming up next, we have the winner of XZ and 100 Thieves, and also one more team. Who do you think are going to fill out those 2 spots?
It's tough. If I had to say before the tournament, I would have said 100 Thieves and XZ, but I think Envy's looking really good. Obviously, they gave us a tough time. I honestly, like, nobody can say. Like, it's up to who performs on the day of their matches. All these teams are getting really good, and nothing is free.
Sounds fair. I mean, everything looks free when you guys play anyways, but I'm going to leave this to you right here. Give a shout out to the fans, the viewers out there, because you guys representing us. I'm going to let you know right now, Shaz, we're so damn excited.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Everyone, all the support. Like, that's obviously what makes us do this. So.
All right, well, go ahead and get some good rest. Get some more good food as well. Congratulations to you and your team, and we'll see you guys represent us well overseas. You have a good night.
Thanks, man. You too.
No problem. All right, fellas, anything you want to take away from that interview at all? I love talking to Shaz, man. Yeah.
About Shaz right now and for Sentinels overall, so it's really nice to see the confidence comes out in the end. Humble at the same time too, like to say that you see a little bit of trash talk from like the Sentinel social media from time to time, and it's like hyping up these games, which is great, definitely great.
Oh yeah,
I
we
love
want that.
And then in the end, when it's still the victory that comes out for Sentinels, like, again, I talked about it, any given Tuesday or like just a regular Tuesday, a walk in the park, but they're still humble with the competition that they're playing against.
Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a Credit Karma Instant Karma moment coming up, and let's take a look at one of the best team plays that we've seen, and it was right there on Haven. I want you guys to just pay
Actually,
mind
change here, yeah, so...
Oh, this one right here, yeah, man, silly. Give us a run-through.
I mean, I'm just going to let the image speak for itself.
So this is rough because this is like a reminder of a previous play. When they played on Bind earlier, Dapper pushes into Vents and is watching the rotate come through as they plant the spike on A site on Bind. As they walk through, he sees 3 players pass him. He's got the classic out, it's pistol round.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is an easy, at least single kill to disrupt. And then you can get a wide swing from a player lamps. That doesn't happen. He misses because he threads the needle. He's basically tracing behind the guy perfectly, and he dies. And then it happens again.
And those were, I think, like left clicks too in pipes and on Bind. So left click didn't work, right click didn't work. It was just a classic. Being a classic, sometimes trying to shoot opponents in the back that just didn't work out.
Now that's instant karma right there. Now, fellas, it's time to take one more look at the bracket. We have one team that's already going to represent North America in Berlin, Germany for Masters, and let's take a look and see who else might meet us over there. Right now, there's a big game going on the B stream between XZ and 100 Thieves. Can't wait to see who comes out on top. 100 Thieves obviously up 1-0 as you see right there. But also, we have some big matchups waiting for us. TSM versus Rise, FAZE versus LG. You got Envy waiting down there.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe and LG is going to be a fun one to watch. I think LG, I thought for me, was going to give a bigger matchup for XZ than expected. Like the results that I saw in the end didn't look too good. But I still believe that LG might have what it takes to probably give the biggest upset of this tournament, which would be against FaZe.
One of my biggest disappointments for LG, though, we had talked about it for a moment, was the way they just kind of shoved Moose back into the roster. So like Dazzle's filling that role of Sova, and now Moose comes back and he's like, that's what I always play. And they're like, you can play Ban's old roles. So it's like, I guess I'm playing Killjoy now.
Yeah.
And it clearly wasn't what they needed. The team did not click in that first series. I don't know if they're going to change things coming into tomorrow. I doubt it. FaZe didn't look fantastic, but they didn't look rough either. It should be a decent game, but I don't mean it's going to be like the highest possible play. I think we're going to see a lot of individual highlights from that one. For sure.
Yeah, now, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it here on the A stream. You better go ahead and take yourself over to the B stream to see which team is going to qualify for Berlin next. But remember, it's going to be at the same place. Come over to Nerve Street or even Valorant to check out some more Valorant gameplay. And remember, tomorrow we're starting at a different time. 5 p.m. Eastern. You know where to catch us. We've had so much fun on the desk. Once again, my name is Veli Vansili. I love working with you, man. Bach, it's been great seeing you as well. We'll see you guys next time for some more Valorant action.